Hello, and welcome once again to Lionhead Gaming. I know we've missed a couple episodes of Song of Rapture, and we've missed you all as well. Fret not, though, for tonight the Valiant Vanguard have reconvened for some more wonderful D&D. Before that, though, I do want to make two announcements. One, we are working on a new project for the channel in the form of Pathfinder 2nd Edition. This will be building up to, hopefully, a new, full-fledged campaign, a lot in the vein of something like Song of Rapture, but in a new and different tabletop role-playing game system, and be DM'd by none other than yours truly, Jordan, the runner of Lionhead Gaming. And secondly, we finally have a Discord. So you can check that out just below the channel in the little description boxes and such. You should see a little Discord button there, along with doing No! There we go. Hello. Alright, sorry about that. I just did a whole thing, and it just didn't even go out to you guys. So, yeah. Hey, how you guys doing? We're back here at Lionhead Gaming. I know we have missed a couple weeks, a couple episodes of Song of Rapture, and we have missed playing and being here with you all as well. But do not worry. For tonight, the Valiant Vanguard have reconvened for some more wonderful D&D. But before that, I do want to make two announcements. One, we are working on a new project for the channel in the form of Pathfinder 2nd Edition. That will hopefully branch out into a new show, most likely taking up the Sunday spot where the Expanse used to be, and will be DM'd by none other than myself, Jordan here with Lionhead Gaming. Secondly, we finally have a Discord, which you can see for burgeoning role-playing, burgeoning community here at Lionhead Gaming and on Twitch as well. So I certainly hope to see you there. Other than that, we have some D&D to play. We have some D&D to get to. So, Monsieur Omen, what do you have for us tonight?
Going, but let's dust off this engine and see how she purrs. So does someone, sounds like someone in our chat, I'm almost certain someone had a recap prepared, just making sure we're still on top of that, because it's been a little while, at least 2 weeks in between of break. We left our heroes, the Valiant Vanguard, standing in a dark and rainy town, facing off against strange faces, not that human, facing back at them, seeming to accost a pair, or at least one certain injured individual in this small ramshackle town. But again, as always, this is not my story to tell. Can someone tell me what happened last time on the Song of Rapture?
Yeah, I got this for you, Oben.
Go for it, baby.
No, I'm kidding. Mel wrote a whole thing, and she's been working on it all week, and it's hilarious.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I was about to murder him just now. But previously on Song of Rapture, after fulfilling a promise to an old friend, the Valiant Vanguard left Oakwell to support their fabulously sassy sorceress, Luna, who was on a personal quest to find her parents and uncover her forgotten past. Her only direction was a town far northeast, the same town she had been abandoned in, Garen's Well. Before arriving, Luna recounted her life there. It seemed that was the only part of her past that she could remember. Arriving in Garen's Well, being cared for by the kind physician Eric Gellner, discovering small corpses beneath his rosebed, and then setting Dr. Gellner on fire before running away. Our heroes quickly discovered that this man who Luna supposedly murdered was still alive, and would be more than happy to speak with them about an unrelated matter. But she would not be joining her party as they spoke with the one who escaped death. She would do her own investigating instead. She went to the well in town and dove into it, popping out within the Shadowfell. She set her sights on an abandoned fortress and searched there for answers. She came upon a grand hall with a lavish throne and sat upon it, and it felt familiar. Suddenly, some of the fog within her mind dispersed. She saw herself as a child, a toddler, sitting upon the knee of a man in lavish robes who bore a resemblance to Dr. Gelner. Lord of Night, she had learned, was this nobleman who resided within this place. In a hall of joyous people, she felt a hand guide her away and lead her to another with a bearded face. She could not remember anything else about this man except that she was very happy to see him. That was all that came to her. She left the fortress seeking more answers, but before she could get them, a howl resounded into the night, and claws clattered towards her. Creatures of black fur ran by and disappeared into the fountain in the middle of the square. Using the Heartstone, Luna went back to the material plane, just in time to hear another howl and then a scream. She flew towards the danger, reuniting with the rest of the valiant vanguard to the north, finding a woman cornered by these dark-furred wolves. This is where we rejoin our heroes, coming to the aid of a Garen's Wellian and still sifting through the strangeness that resides in this town. Join us tonight as we write our next chapter in Song of Rapture.
Very well done, Mel. Give yourself some DM inspiration, but there were a few more things that did happen in the last session. A bit more thorough investigating through the rest of the party. Does anyone else want to recount some of your own instances and encounters in this town, or do you want to roll on ahead?
Sure, we had some suspicions, obviously, going into all of this, and to Garen's Well, with the stories of what Luna shared with us. Didn't seem like a very happy place, as learned that it had somewhat been abandoned by anyone that could really help them besides the good doctor, which we learned the name of, Mr. Gelner. But obviously, Gregory wants to seek some higher power. Learned that there was a church in town, and learned that it wasn't really being kept up very well. But that doesn't really stop him. He still liked to see someone. As he searched for directions, he was actually informed that not so much that it wasn't being kept up, mostly that it was just completely abandoned. No one really visited that place anymore, but he still wanted to see it with his own eyes, to show his respects, if nothing else. He ventured there, found an old worn place, but, well, he still wanted to see it. So venturing inside, he saw an altar and all the like, but with a little bit of the sense to try to find if there was anything of divine origin still left in that place, he heard a ringing in his ears. The soft tinkle, the hum of divine energy. And with a little bit of investigation, he actually found what looked like a trap door behind the altar. But he was alone, and he didn't really know where the world everybody was up to at the moment, and they had a meeting shortly, so he decided to leave when he looked up and saw a strange hooded man that seemed to just been watching him, of white hair and strange, just observing eyes. Greg gave a nod as he quickly made his exit, not sure exactly what the man had seen, as this man, Gregory learned to be called Saris, said that he would keep Greg's secret. As it seemed like as Greg left, this man ventured to the altar and entered the trapdoor behind him. Maybe something to investigate further later on.
I definitely did have a very fun and interesting conversation with a Dracovian dwarf. A man who owns a shop in town seemed to have quite a bit of knowledge on the goings-ons and whatever it is that happened here with this whole fire incident. Eric Gelner seems to be quite the reputable individual, according to him, if a bit strange to my recollection. But I don't recall any other noteworthy parts of our conversation, besides his very interesting accent and peculiarities. I'll have to pay a visit to his store at some point. I know I want to do that. I think from there, though, we went to that meeting, did we not? And, well, what a meeting that was. dealing with Eric Gelner trying to be as, well, not really forthcoming, of course, with my sister being with us, Jessica Deus. I do not know who this Luna lady is, but she is not a concern of mine. Talking with Eric Gelner, we got a bit of information as to this whole process with the, I want to say, adamantium poisoning with the dwarves, and the fact that Eric Gelner seems to perhaps specialize in some sort of blood-based healing or something of that nature, seeming to be quite close to cracking the code to eternal youth. Well, of course, everyone thinks that they're getting closer and closer to unraveling those sorts of secrets, but they keep a close eye on him. I do have to say, that conversation was a bit tense. Though I think he did inform us that there was some peculiarities going on in town with these strange wolves or large bestial creatures attacking people, and those attacks were keeping people from coming to volunteer and donate their own blood toward this effort. He could not supply it himself, or needed a larger supply than what he had. He provided us an opportunity to offer up our own blood, though we all refused, I think for our own reasons. A bit uncomfortable, and some of us a bit drunken and passed out, and others, like Gregory, completely on edge and completely untrusting of this man. So he told us if we could get rid of these wolves or beasts or whatever, that perhaps the people of Garenswell would be able to safely get to his establishment and donate blood and move this whole issue along, and we could rectify the issue with the dwarves and all that. Though, unfortunately, we did not, I believe, come any closer, despite the best efforts of both Gregory and Persephone, to ascertaining what mysteries lie behind that very handsome mask of his. Something's not quite right, we all know that, but we can't put a finger on what it is. He's not undead, there's nothing explicitly magical about him, and as best as Persephone can tell, he's not even evil. So what is the mystery behind Eric Gelner? Well, that answer would have to come later. From there, I want to say it was Javen, who just so wonderfully happened to cause a bit of a drunken mishap, stumbling into something or the like, and of course I had to step up and corral our vanguard and make do and get out of there as quickly as we could, bidding each other farewell and all that. And I think from there is when we started to hear those ominous howls in the distance. So, now we're dealing with that, much sooner than we hoped. I know I wanted to talk to the mayor and get paid. Well, I'm sure something can still be arranged.
Good stuff. Just want to clarify, though, one specific detail mentioned was when Gregory and Persephone were ascertaining this doctor's nature. Persephone was pulling upon some innate magic she's been harnessing over time, this sort of Fey spirit of her own, that she can sort of reach out and, much similar to the tales of the Fey life on the other side, they can reach out and almost touch the heart of another creature and sort of ascertain their true nature. Although his didn't seem to yield anything as far as she's concerned, and Gregory, with his sight of the gods, allowing him to pick up upon both the feelings of consecration, those that have been touched and cleansed by godly light, and things that have been desecrated, things that have been tarnished by the darkness of devils and undeath and the like. Also able to pick up on the strange sensation offered by otherworldly creatures. Gregory has sort of had trouble sensing anything in this town. Everything in this place that seems to be haunted by spirits seems to be saturated not only by the sensation of desecration, this cold and unnerving chill, but also the smell of the grave, the sight of almost like a layer of undeath, as spirits seem to be everywhere. But as we continue on, we find our valiant vanguard converging through the deep and narrowing alleyways of Garenswell until they come upon a rather harrowing-looking sight as rain pours all around them, still falling heavy on this quiet little town, we find our heroes standing at the edge of what looks to be the site of... Come here, and I will ask you all lovely ladies and gentlemen to roll me some initiative. Cool, you were on it.
Well, not really.
My bleached white hand isn't good enough to catch your attention.
No,
So what's that?
not.
A little bit more. When I did use my eyes on Mr. Gelmer, though, I did see, correct me if I'm wrong, that he was not a creature of infernal nature or undead nature, but he seemed to just be shrouded and covered in desecrate, almost like a focal point of it all.
Certainly seemed like it.
All right.
And
I was thinking that, but then you didn't mention it. I didn't know if I dreamed that.
And I did feel like a well of grief within him as well.
Oh yeah, your power allows you to reach out, and even if you can't quite ascertain their nature, you can feel their emotional state. And he seems like a deep, unending well of grief and loss and sadness. Always positive here on the Song of Rapture game.
I know.
Mira gets to get rolled first because he's obviously the more important one.
True story.
Okay, who do we have? Nero.
Ooh!
Boom! Gregory! Gregory! Let's see, where's Javen?
I don't know why my... That's gonna be really frustrating all night. Great.
You're pushed to talk.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to...
All right, missing a Dragon Man.
Oh, Peter?
Peter!
Son?
I'm gonna roll for him.
Yeah.
There's nothing he can do about it. Ooh!
That's a pretty spicy
Shit, now
roll.
he's going first.
I feel like the world. I feel like the stars are aligning for you. Everything tells me that you're supposed to be playing a monk between Milo stuff and between this stuff and between what we were talking about with
he rolled so
with
well
your
for you
half-orc
on Tuesday,
thing.
Omen.
Whew.
So well.
Ooh.
His
Fucking Milo
lowest
has
roll
been
was like a
murdering the shit out of
13.
Glad to hear.
Burned up all the good luck.
Okay. You, Mr. You. Nice. Okay. As we're gonna begin off with the fastest among us all, and one of the oldest among the group, a weathered dragonborn Javid, red scales and hanging trinkets falling from his body. You see ahead of you with your beautiful, beautiful eyeballs. In this now dimmed area, you can see a lantern, like a small torch against the wall next to this now almost silver-furred wolf whose eyes turn in your direction. It seems like the falling rain all around you not only occludes some of your hearing, it also seems to be affecting the actual light of the flames itself, as this torch, which should be much brighter, is dimming down to a small... But it's just enough to illuminate this treacherous-looking wolf in front of you. What do you do?
Peter actually gotten back yet.
Is he actually gone? Okay, well then, the man with a hand inside of Javen puppeting him around, what does he do?
Phrasing.
Gotta get Javen's voice again. It's just Gregory, but deeper. Gregory, but
Slower.
Javen. Well, Javen is just gonna run up here, getting around his friend in the front. I don't know if he's really got enough movement with the difficult terrain. I think he's got just enough. What's your movement? 55, that is more than enough. He is actually going to be taking the long way around as he is dodging to the outside of the pack, as he usually does, getting up behind this wolf. Don't worry, woman, we're coming to save you, as he's going to come and try to kick the crap out of this dog up against the wall off to the side, just sort of trying to get its attention away from this woman, and she's going to strike out with an unarmed strike as... I don't know how all his flasks and things work, so I'm gonna wait until he comes back if he wanted to use those, as he's just gonna try to strike into the side of this doggo as he kicks into him. Unarmed strike.
Sure.
Yeah.
Ooh, as you come out quite quickly, this wolf turns in your direction as you approach and starts to pull itself away, but you are too quick, Javen, and your fist is able to catch into its fur, striking it quite heartily. Give me some damage.
He's kicking into the side of him for 7 damage. Ooh,
Nice. As you kick into this thing, Javen, you feel your foot connect, and this is just a wolf. You should kick this thing right into the wall and break it. But its body seems to be strangely hardy against your foot, even though you've known yourself to be able to punch through even some of the strongest of defenses. As he takes the blow, but only seems to be slightly buffered by it.
Oh, tough one, ain't ya? As he's gonna bring his fist down as he pulls back his leg, sort of taking his right leg as a fulcrum of his body and swinging his entire form around this weird, tipsy way as the fist tries to come clambering down on the side of its head. Hey! Save!
Ooh, that will also connect. As following up with your momentum, smashing your fist down into this thing's head, it cracks, and you can hear the wolf actually yelp out in pain as it cracks into the top of its head.
Looks like
But
their
again,
health
at
is linked.
I know, I'm unlinking it right now.
Alright. As seeing the toughness of these things, trying to just protect this woman to make sure these dogs don't try to go after her again, he's gonna send a little bit of ki just striking through this thing's head and trying to disrupt its brain, trying to make it so it just cannot take poses around with a stun strike. And I feel like we've had a rest, right, since stuff happened.
You've been traveling for a while, you have not fought anyone for a while, your key should be all filled.
Alright, so we give you a key for a stun strike.
Sure. As this, you see him striking to his body, and this sends that little pulse of energy, it shivers, and suddenly this creature just goes limp for a moment, almost falling off its feet until it starts stammering to and fro, head sort of swaying, some drool pouring out of its open maw, as it is stunned.
Yes. That, just gonna look around, make sure there's nothing else, as he comes swinging out again with a little flurry of blows, trying to strike it as hard as he can. Pop, pop.
Ooh, and both of those will connect.
I guess with
Both
advantage too.
Sure. Those will still connect.
Ooh.
Just blow after blow, crashing into this wolf. You can see almost knocking it off its feet. It's so dizzied, and basically it looks like it's almost drunk, the same way you are when you have your fun, Javen. But unfortunately, it still seems to keep standing. It's strangely hardy.
And that's Javen.
All right, we come down to Gregory.
I've had my turn, let me have my turn now.
Mhm.
As I kick on the side of Nero, as he starts charging forwards at this creature, as I will just bring my big old blade around and just try to strike up across the side of it, as Nero is actually going to wheel himself just off to the side a bit as I strike down on the left side of Nero, trying to cleave into this thing. The hell away from her, you damn mutt! Yes. Bringing my solemn blade down. I'm gonna try to strike with just all of my might. I'm trying to get rid of this thing. I saw Javen just pound into this thing and it's just still not going down. I'm trying to just cleave it apart to make sure it can't get this. As striking strong as I can. Not entering a rage quite yet.
Sure.
Ooh, 16.
A 16 will connect.
Carved down its back for 26 damage.
Ooh.
Do I see like the weird unnaturalness of these things? Or do they just look like dogs?
Sure. Give me a perception check, actually.
Greg's not too good at this, and it is dark out.
Thankfully, there's a tiny little light next to you, too.
I guess there's a lantern, okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you swing your blade down. You're kind of caught up in the heat of battle, and you're just trying to get this thing away from this. You look over and you see the woman sort of like slouched down on her back, holding her arm, where it looks like she's holding onto something bleeding down to the ground. And so you just turn your fury and your fever on to this wolf as you carve into it for a decent amount of damage. Let's see. Ooh. As you carve up into its side, and for a second, something almost catches your eye about it until the sword carves into its hide. And just like Javen, you think that this is just a wolf. You should be able to carve clean through this thing and kill it instantly, but it catches your blade almost and rips along its hide, and the silver fur becomes stained with this dark black blood, and you can hear it actually call out in pain, almost like this harsh cry rather than a yelp or a whimper, as it sort of stammers to the side, trying to keep itself standing, and turns to face you fully.
hell are you? As I just bring my blade up again and try to strike across its form. But this time, a bit of radiant light starting to shine upon the blade as I just try to strike it as hard as I can, aiming for the neck, seeing if I can cut off its head in one fell. Oh, nice!
Ooh, that'll connect.
And so I strike across its form, radiant light piercing off the blade as I strike it for, whoo, that's a good level 1.
Ooh, that is
40 or 46 damage.
Whew. How do you want to kill this thing?
As the blade just comes striking across its head, as its neck splits open at the top, as the blade just cuts down, drawing back, as it seems like the flesh itself just burns away with this radiant light, as the head itself almost burns up like 4 or 5 inches off the neck across its fur until it hits the ground.
As you swing through the head, there's a glowing sword carving straight above where its, I guess, wolven shoulders would be. The head goes spinning up and almost spiraling against the wall, smacking against it and just pooling blood behind it, washing away with the rain. The body itself, this singed neck hole, hits the ground and sort of curls up right next to this woman who now recoils from the dead body. She looks like she's in shock.
As Gray's going to take this momentum of striking this thing down as it falls, he is going to leap from Nero, taking half of his movement, land here and charge after this other beast, striking down at its back with his last all the things. Ah! As he's gonna attack with me.
Ooh, and that will hit.
He just carves up the back, seeing this thing can't defend itself, reserving some of his light, trying to take his attention to this wounded woman as he just carves up.
Nice. As you carve into its side, some of the light fading from your sword enough, but you can see as even though in its strange stupor, it turns to face you as you're running towards it and starts growling out this hoarse growl. But the sword carves up into its side and deals a healthy amount of damage. As you can see now, this spray of blood running up along its back and washing away with the rain as well. It starts to stammer in its step, not really able to stand up anymore. It tries to growl out something, but it just seems like it's about dead. It's not looking good.
Yes, Miss, are you alright?
Yes, but my sister's still back there. There's things in the dark.
Back where?
As she points out with her wounded arm as best she can, looks like off in this direction. Trying to curl her finger around to indicate like around a corner.
I shoot a look to Nero, and that's my turn. that's my 2 turns, my 3 turns.
Jesus. As Luna, you see Gregory and Javen charge ahead, and it seems like Javen's pounding into something, and Gregory just carves the head off of a horse, or of a wolf. What do you do?
Can I hear her say that?
Oh, you can. You've got amazing hearing, even though the rain is pouring down around you, and should be making it hard to hear. Your passive perception actually makes up for that.
So since I can hear her say that and point it that way, I'm going to move around perception over here. I see. So much further. I'll take the dash action, so I can run. Keep running this way.
Luna.
And
As you're running down here,
Oh, you die.
perception. Give me a perception check, just as you're running, as you're looking around, because it sounds like there's someone around you. Ooh, not great. Yeah, you're looking up and around. You're looking for people around in the darkness, and I mean, maybe it's just seeing spots or something. But your eyes allow you to see perfectly clear in this darkness. To others, they're probably seeing shades of gray, only slightly illuminated by these torches. But you, everything is just slate. It's like you're looking out in daylight. And every once in a while, as you're blinking, there just seem to be these like sort of spots in the darkness, like these little blurbs, sort of like, I don't know, like masses of shadow. That when you blink, they don't really seem to be there. And then you immediately run. Where are you with that? You make it about here in your running before suddenly that blob of shadow seems to appear in front of you and then disappear again, but it stops you like a physical force.
I will use a bonus action, spend 2 sorcery points, and take out my blade and try to booming blade it. Whatever's in front of me.
Sure. Give me an attack with disadvantage.
That's weird. Hold on.
Pull out your dagger. Ooh. As you take this knife and... What's it look like when you cast Booming Blade?
It just seems like my blade is just covered in this kind of like black smoke that just seems to be vibrating in the air before I step.
Okay. As this vibrating black smoke surrounds your blade, you stab out sort of wildly, not really sure where to hit, and you feel it go through the air for a moment before it seems to catch on something, as if there's a solid piece there, and you cut and carve, and you can see, like, again, this spot of darkness splurge, and you can hear this, like, deep and guttural come out from within the spot as you actually do some damage.
Ooh. Attack the darkness.
Diagonally.
Make one extra D8.
Yeah. We ain't level 11 yet.
Nice.
Ooh.
As you can see, the blade seems to catch onto something, and it doesn't seem to quite catch it too well until suddenly the energy seems to course out, and you can see it ripple across this thing. You know, it looks like it takes this weird, almost quadruped shape as it ripples across the invisible thing's body, and that shadowy form seems to splurge once again into appearance before it fades again, as looks like you hit something, and it hit it quite hard.
So that's my turn.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, look at that. You're looking back at your blade, Luna, and this thing that stood in front of you that now disappears. You can hear this quiet, almost like scratching sound, like claws against stone, as you hear this deep breathing around you. And suddenly, you're listening for where it's coming from. It seems to be coming from another side of you now, and the darkness sort of reemerges again, but this time it's thicker and denser, as almost appearing first before anything else. This pair of massive shadowy jaws reach out from the darkness, out of the ether it looks like, and try to bite at you. Ah! Ooh, but fortunately with your blade against it, you're able to basically anticipate this thing coming out of the ether as this... It looks strange. It looks like one of these things you've been fighting, and as you see it up close, you realize you saw this just minutes ago. This strange beast, like a wolf or a dog of sorts, but its body seems to be not really corporeal. It seems to be formed out of the darkness itself, holding itself out of the ether to attack you. But unfortunately, you're able to defend yourself, pulling it out of the way its jaws at the last second, as it seems to circle around you again, and as it does, you can hear it growling lowly in the back of its throat, and then again its body fading away. Seems to vanish. As we do. Ooh, Javen! As you're beating the crap out of this wolf, you see Gregory come up to the side and carve up its body. You're feeling yourself pretty confident now, finally spending some of this energy and using those muscles of yours. You hear this strange scratching, clawing sound behind you, and as you turn, suddenly out of the darkness, your vision obscured by both the rain and the lack of light in this area, two jaws just seem to come out of nowhere, trying to bite at you.
Oh, well, no.
And back. 15 and 19, I think?
I don't know what his AC is supposed to be right now. It says 21. I don't
Shouldn't have that high, I don't think. He's got his... Should be that. 18.
18?
So 15
Alright.
won't connect. So this giant pair of jaws come flying over your shoulder. You're able to sort of deflect it last minute, but doing that, the other one comes up to your side and catches you as these teeth just sink in and these creatures emerge from the darkness.
Oh, man, no.
As I'm going to need a strength saving throw, Jabin.
Taking 6 damage, strength saving throw. Ooh, nope.
And the surprise seems to catch you by the hip and rip you off your feet as you fall prone. And just as they bite and rip into your side, you see them looking around, looking at the source of light behind this, where this horse is sort of obscuring it, and behind them, they look back to you, Javen, and pull themselves away in the ether.
What the hell was that?
All I can hear is the sound of clacking claws. Ooh. And let's see who's around there. Luna, Gregory, and Javen. amidst this strange assault, even Gregory, you see it as Javen gets assaulted by, it looks like these wolves or dogs coming out of the darkness and attacking him, dragging to the ground, and then pulling away and vanishing like a surprise attack. You start hearing this strange sound. And Javen, on the ground, on your back now, looking up, you get a full view of it. You've been looking at these lines, looks like some old clothes are hanging along in this sort of walkway between buildings. And you see something hanging from them. These thin, almost like stalactite shaped, almost conal shaped mounds hanging from beneath these things. And you've been well-traveled enough, you almost immediately recognize them. They often appear to be bats, but they're much larger, much larger than bats should be. They don't quite have fur over their body, more like patches of hair. They're most distinctive when they smell blood. They hang around these poor cities that are not very well taken care of, terrible vermin when allowed to fester. As their heads careen up, their almost 4 wings spread out wide, and their faces, not full of sharp teeth, but narrowed down to a thin, needle-like nose. As you see, hanging beneath these bridges and hanging on some of these lines are sturges.
Sturgy boys.
As you hear their tiny wings flapping, and you look down, feel your hand, and spilling around you, not only next to you, but next to the wolf, pooling around your body. Lots and lots, what sturges love. And you're right at the center of it.
Oh, dragon blood.
As these things are going to swarm you. You have 4 attacks coming at you at advantage.
Trying to swipe away at them as they come.
17, crit, 21, and 20.
Ooh, all those will hit except one.
As the first one comes down, you're able to quick up to bat it away, but then they all sort of come at you at once. They're not quite missiles, it's hard to deflect them. It's so easy to deflect them if they're a little smaller. As their teeth seem to just pierce, their little sharp needle noses rather, seem to pierce right into you as you take 7, 6, and 7, total of 19 damage.
God, get them damn things. Ugh.
One of them seems to flutter back up to the air about 5 feet or so above you, but the others are sticking their little nostrils into your body. Let's see, where you at? Where's your wing at? Where's a wing at? Where's a wing at? I need a wing. I'll put a wing right there. There. As to do. Yeah, okay. That should do it. And from the depths of this place, amidst the darkness, the rain, the sound of carnage, and now some of you can see the bats flying down from these heights to attack your poor wounded friend, you hear this deep and bellowing sound come from the depths of this place.
Puppy.
As I'm going to need all of you to give me wisdom saving throws.
Ruh-roh.
Yep.
I ain't great at them. Ooh.
I'm back. Something
Hey.
took my attention.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
You're getting your
I'm
blood
doing
sucked
your-
out.
I'm
Thanks.
doing your wisdom saving throw for you, though. You got a
Thank
13.
Alright, you failed me. I hate it.
All right.
Nero's got a 15.
As all of you seem to hold your resolve against this sound, it almost runs through your body like a cold chill, but Quildor, suddenly hearing this sound coming out from the darkness, it sounds like a wolf, but it's too eerie, and Luna, now surrounded by this darkness and being attacked by things you can't see, both of you feel a cold shiver run through you as both of you are frightened. As we come down to Persephone.
Alright, wow, a lot just happened. Persephone, she saw Luna fly off and she was on her way to follow after her. Now there's nothing by Luna and there's a lot of things around Javen, so we are going to...
Yeah, Javen, you got 3 bugs stuck in you, sucking out your blood.
Hopefully not for long, because I'm gonna thorn with that one.
Nice.
This one down here? Okay. Oh yeah, as you see this thing, you can see they're actually sticking on top of Javen. Their little beaks stuck into his body. You can see these really almost emaciated-looking tummies. Like these things are like almost like starved man. Like they look like someone took a mosquito and decided this thing's gonna be a mammal now. So it's thin and sickly and it's covered in this loose flesh. And as they're sucking out, you can see his belly starting to slowly fill up with this iridescent red color, illuminated by the torchlight. But you manage to catch onto its body with your thorn whip and rip it off. As how do you want to kill it?
As the thorn whip wraps around it, I give it a big tug, and as the whip gets taut and squeezes in, it just kind of.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know.
As you pull it, and suddenly
I don't. It's a whip. It grabs onto it,
As
and
you
as
squeeze
he pulls
it
it,
and
it's
So this is how I get AIDS.
Yep.
yeah,
From your own blood?
Yeah, Persephone kind of looks over at it, shocked. It's like, I think I can take care of those.
as you wrap this thing up and pull it, and you can see all that little building red suddenly swells back into its chest, and then not quite as satisfying like a balloon, more like a weak, something really nasty. It seems to sag and hang off, and you can see, feel Javen, your own blood coming back to you, but now it's lathering your body. As this thing's dead.
I don't know, you don't know what else that thing has sucked.
That's true.
That's my turn.
Alright, as Nero?
As Nero's got the last order Greg gave him, so he is turning around and going to start heading off towards Luna. First thing he's going to do, though, before he does anything, he's just charging for where he last saw this invisible creature as he just slams on the ground right here. Probably not going to hit anything, but he is just stomping down where he thought this weird shadow dog was a second.
Sure. Give me that attack roll with disadvantage.
Here we go.
Taking your hooves and just dropping down. You smash on the ground, and you do smash something that splatters beneath your feet, but it just seems to be rainwater.
As Nero is just going to continue to charge outwards towards this light. Oh, I don't have vision. Although he doesn't have any dark vision, so I guess it's fine. That's how it would.
He has sight now. I'll give him this and this. Here.
There we go. Let's see. As he's got
torchlight around him.
He's got 60 feet, I believe. As he is just going to continue to charge down this road, as I believe that's as far as he can go, in search of, with the mental command of Gregory, of some woman that seems to be in trouble. Although looks like he doesn't see anybody. That's his turn.
All right. As all seems to be the last one alive, this creature is still stammered and on its feet. You can see it almost sit down as it tries to, like, almost futilely lick at its wound, but then it tries to get back up. It seems to be confused at where it is and what it's doing. Still stunned on its turn. Come down to Samantha.
Samantha's just going to spring forward, getting up next to Persephone, assessing the situation, seeing this thing stumbling back and forth, seeing Javen toss and turn on the ground. Where's Oh, there she is. Why are you going that way, Luna?
What that woman said her sister was over here.
Got it. As Samantha's just going to conjure forth her green bow, firing one shot at the wolf that's not moving and one shot at the sturge that's 5 feet up.
So one at the wolf and one at the sturge?
Yep.
Okay, give me them shots.
First one with advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Wolf's got advantage.
Yes.
Gotcha. So, I guess the 25 would hit the wolf, and then the sturge that's 5 feet up. 26.
Nice.
As how do you want to kill them both?
They're basically, they're just almost, there's nothing really special, just straight into the center mass. Samantha's already turning her attention down towards where Luna is, figuring that Gregory can handle whatever those flying pests are. But there's somebody else who's in trouble, and, well, she doesn't feel like looking at the look that she's going to see on Gregory's face if this woman's sister dies.
Sturge just seems to pop in the air and fall back down. Less blood in its body this time. It didn't quite make a landing on poor Javen, but the wolf, as it turns to face you, gets struck by the magical bolt and stammers backwards before just hitting the ground, bleeding out on it.
Yeah, suppose that is it for her.
Okay. As Quill, you feel that cold chill running through your body. You know that How came somewhere in this direction in your body, just compelling it not to go that way, but over here, there's people in trouble over here.
Boo.
Brighton, baby.
Let's see how I'm gonna swing and I'm gonna hit that one, and then I'm gonna swing and then I'm gonna hit that one.
Alright, give me them attack
gonna
rolls,
do it.
baby.
I'm going to hit them. Declaring it now. There you go.
Both those look. How do you want to kill them?
I'm just gonna go cut and just like one, I just whoosh, cut the wings right off and watch it just kind of flutter on the ground. The other one, I'm gonna skillfully just whoosh, and cut the little snout right off of Javen's skin.
Quite easily with both strength and dexterity, you manage to just find the soft spots on these creatures, already quite weak, and just carve them to pieces as they fall around to the ground, leaving Javen on his back, but now less harried, just more bloodied.
Well, there's some damn dogs coming out of the darkness. Watch yourself.
Do I get a wisdom save at the end of my turn?
Yes, you do.
That's what I'm gonna do.
My words seem to inspire you a little bit. You get 11.
Yep, as it seems like you're looking off in this direction, the unknown seems to be harrowing to you, but with Gregory at your side and your allies around you, you find that resolve to shake off the fear.
Oh, thank God. Ooh, 2 and a 3 on my wisdom save. Ooh, the heal.
You got this, baby.
I got you, man.
Alright, that'll be my turn, because that's the end of my turn.
Butthead.
As Javen, you were pulled to the ground by this strange dog that came out of the darkness and then faded back into it. And as you were laying bleeding on the ground, these sturges came out of nowhere to slash onto your body and drink you dry. But now your friends got you. You're just on your back now, looking around. Apparently invisible attackers. What do you do?
Yeah, Javen, from this precarious sort of position, he uses his eyes, he scans around, sees that, well, he can't really see anything, it's freaking darkness, as he'll kick his legs around in a swirling acrobatic movement, as I'll use 5 feet to get up from prone, easily able to kick jump myself up. Ugh. And I don't think I have a torch. Who needs torches? Move a little bit, warily of course. I can see the immediate stuff in front of me, yeah?
It looks like you ran up to basically beat the crap out of one of these wolves, basically knocking it out almost until Gregory and looks like Samantha finish it off. Gregory carved through one of the other wolves, and looks like everything you can see around you, these little sturges are all dead. You do know that around you, out of just the darkness itself, these teeth seem to manifest out of nowhere and bite into you and pull you to the ground. So you can't quite see them, but you know they're out there.
They popped into dog form, bit ya, and then just immediately disappeared again.
Mm-hmm.
That's cheating. Javen will sort of scout around, saying, all I really did is come out of thin air. Huh. Oh shit. So he knows he tries to take evasive maneuvers knowing that, well, I mean, you can't really see it. So how are you supposed to dodge against something that you can't really see? But hoping maybe he'll get a split second notice of the jaws in the immediate vicinity before him. So use the dodge action.
Okay.
And that recovering some stamina, sort of drawing upon this well, this key within him to not really heal himself. He's still bleeding profusely, but just channel this sort of willpower he has, the same that he has when he tries to not be drunk. So roll a hit die.
Nice. As you pull upon some of your special fortitude,
Hey.
drawing back some stamina. Even though you're bleeding, you catch your breath, draw out some ki, and you feel your will to fight back flowing back into you. Nice.
So that'll be my turn.
All right, taking the dodge action. As Gregory, you find these creatures are now dead before you. Yeah. What do you want to do?
I'll look back at this woman. How injured does she look?
Give me an investigation check. Actually, give me a medicine check, rather.
Oh yeah, I'm good at all these. Makes zero difference. Oh yeah.
I mean, you see her holding her forearm. You can tell that it looks like there's blood coming down, and if you ask her to move her hand, it looks like something just bit her. Probably like a dog.
Hell. You alright?
Yeah, just she's all by herself over there. Those things, you've seen them, right? They come out of nowhere and they vanish.
Oh, don't worry. Quill, you got this?
Yeah.
I'll leave it to you then, as I'm going to start to charge off in this direction, although knowing these shadow beasts are around, not really sure how to combat them entirely, not knowing where they come out of, there's only really one way that he knows of stopping something like this, and that's to drown out the shadows as he takes a step, pulling up the solemn blade as he just calls upon a little bit of a prayer in his mind, calling upon some magic to light his way, to guide his blade, and maybe reveal these creatures before him, as he's going to cast some sacred weapon to alight his blade in sacred light.
Nice.
As he will start to charge forward down this road as I choke on peanut butter cracker things, as he is just chasing after Nero, trying to get this mental sense through Nero's senses of what is going on ahead, but obviously Nero doesn't see anything, although it seems like there's a roadway that heads north from here. That's where Gregory's headed.
Sure, give us a torch real quick.
Okay.
Where the fuck did Gregory get peanut butter crackers?
He's been holding
Yeah,
out.
Same place Quill got Jello.
As that's my turn. Ooh, it's so
As you-
big.
Yeah,
Frick.
20-foot radius with a 20-foot dim light. Basically just a torch, right? So yeah. So as you're running with your glowing blade, you can see this thing washing over the area, and now with the light spilling up, even you, Gregory, look up and you can see hanging from these lions above you, although seemingly in a more docile state. If I can stop doing that, there we go.
Alright, Luna, there's shadow things attacking us. What do you want me to do? I'm sorry.
You see
Okay.
hanging from above, upside down, these tiny, looks like they were, almost look like these mounds of wet cloth hanging from these lines. You see there are more of these sturges, but as the light washes now across Luna, you can see her more clearly. Just next to her, the white washes over this other shape that roils as shadow before it almost seems like the light burns away its disguise as you find this creature. Wounded,
Yeah.
but turning Luna's way.
We need light! Yo! Did I see any get revealed when I lit up my blade back here, or did I?
No, you did not.
Alright. As I see the creatures up above, as pretty sure other people see these things with the light, but I'm more interested in the dogs that just seem to appear out of nowhere, and I call that shit out. That's my turn.
Okay. As Luna, your body still seems to be shaking with this chill from, it sounds like, this direction. Seemed like that's where the howl came from, and everything in your body, every instinct is telling you, don't go there, as you are still frightened. But now behind you, you can see this now more defined shape of what looks like a dog of sorts, now completely removed from its ethereal state, as it seems to be lurching your way before Gregory's light casts over it and catches its attention. What do you do?
What direction? I didn't see anything.
Oh, whoopsie. It was... come on. By the way. It is in this direction. That's where it seemed like the howl came from.
I still didn't see anything.
One
You didn't
direction.
say anything?
You DM layer?
Oh, I am? No? There we go.
Oh, yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
I must have been on the gym later. Okay, that's fine.
So, northwest.
So since I am not going that way, I'm going to turn to this dog that I have in my midst, as I will use Firebolt on it, as normally it's a kind of a black flame that everyone's used to. Instead, it's a white flame left
Mhm.
by my dear friend Pity, as I will shoot him.
That will connect.
Got modified sniper in this game?
Yes.
Yeah, alright.
As you pull out this massive white flame and just bellow it across its body, it connects as it seems to be caught off guard by Gregory's light, as that will pound into its body as the flame seems to even burn it even more as its dark form gets revealed. You can see it looks like as it burns away, there's not really much flesh to this thing. It almost seems like it's just this massive solid, almost like dust or congealed earth of sorts. As it seems to burn away and fall into like ashes and cinder on the ground, almost half its body removed before the shadow material starts to reform itself. But it's not looking in a good way.
Oh, it's not dead. I'll spend 2 more sorcery points and do it again.
Ooh. As this time you're conjuring
don't
forth
think
the
so.
magic, just trying to get rid of this thing, but the magic flares up a bit too much, and as you throw it at it, its malformed body manages to pull out of the way a bit easier. Somehow, thankfully, because your first attack was so strong, giving enough a lack of mass to allow it to avoid the second attack.
That's not really my turn.
Okay. Okay. As this creature on its last leg looks around and just pulls itself, trying to get away from this source of light, sort of pulling itself into your shadow, Luna, but there's not enough darkness in that shadow to really hide it, as it instead just reaches out and just tries to bite into your leg. Ooh. How do you want to defend against it?
I'm just gonna pull out my shoe and just kind of keep it at bay, pushing at its nose.
Okay.
Do I get like a save or anything from the fear?
Oh, you do. Give me a wisdom saving throw at the end of your turn, as that sound still seems to be resounding inside of you. Ooh,
You're not quite
just
close enough to me.
Nope, still kind of scared. That sound, that horrible thing. If these things are the darkness itself manifesting around you, what lies deeper within, as you are still frightened? Nice. As Nero, you're approaching this area, following Gregory's orders, and trying to send him your thoughts and what you see yourself about this area. You almost don't catch it until the last second. Out of the darkness, this teeth and mouth forming in front of you, just trying to latch onto you. A little bit of advantage. Yeah.
Oh no!
Ooh, 23.
Oh, that will totally connect.
Ooh, as he takes 11 piercing damage, these teeth catch up into your side and rip down to your leg, as I'm going to need a strength horsey boy saving throw.
Horse boy strength. No!
Ooh, as Nero goes toppled to the ground, you can hear him crying out in pain, Gregory. And almost feel it through that connection you share with them. As
Yes,
often
Nero's about to charge down this way, it just catches me, he just fucking tumbles.
Alright. As the wolf peers away, pulling away from him, and you see him once again just on the edge of your vision, and Luna, you can see it quite clearly, his body fading away into the darkness.
Poor Nero. But he still lives. He's alright.
Mm-hmm. As Javen, you're keeping your senses sharp around you. Give me a straight up perception check. Ooh. You know, with the rain clattering around you, you can't use your eyes in this situation, Javen, so you have to focus on your other senses. It's rain falling around you. It makes it a bit hard to perceive, but these things, they still seem to make noise whenever they clatter with your surroundings, but the rain's still obfuscating your ears as you hear this sound, and by the time you turn to look, it's too late as a pair of jaws are coming at you with advantage. Ooh,
Oh.
another crit, as again catches you off guard, jumping onto your shoulder and ripping into the flesh, doing 15 piercing damage, and I need a strength saving throw. Ooh, but fortunately you're prepared for this, and before it wrenches you off your feet, you pull yourself forward using your tail to spring back on your feet, and you are not knocked prone, but you still take 15 piercing damage. As this creature appears in front of you, growling as it starts to circle back around to this side. And then once again, like before, its body fades.
Ouch, ouch, ouch.
And And as you turn to see this, Samantha, as suddenly this creature jumps out of the darkness, bites on the Javen, almost rips him off his feet, and fortunately is able to keep himself going. Behind you, you hear the same sound as these jaws appear out of nowhere, trying to bite at you.
Thankfully,
23.
Thankfully, I have more than my own eyes watching out for me, as my crown will try to lash out at it the second it appears as a reaction.
Nice. As these teeth come reaching out, you see this thing appear in front of you. As it bites into you, you try to bite into it. Give me that ability.
Is that an ability you can see?
Oh,
You
yeah,
can
that's true.
see. Wah, wah.
Yeah. So it attacks you when it's invisible, then it reveals itself.
Gotcha.
Aw.
Yeah, same reason why Javen's dodge didn't help.
Yep. Almost helped them. Almost helped. As you're going to take 10 piercing damage, and I'm going to need a strength saving throw as this thing tries to pull you to the ground. Ooh. But how do you resist this thing with your 19?
Yeah, so like just not able to see it, but I just sort of get like almost God, I don't want to compare it to that, but I almost get like this sort of this shiver, the second sense, right? I get to like just feel something coming up behind me. I'm always afraid of getting stabbed in the back anyway, so I'm always watching there, and as it just bites into me, I wrench back from the pain, but I just I want to say I just sort of will my way through it. Samantha just literally doesn't want to go down, so she doesn't. She doesn't have a whole lot of muscle, obviously. But she just decides that she's just not going to go down and pushes past the pain.
Okay. As the teeth still bear in, but you manage to hold on to your resolve and keep your standing as this thing rips itself off of you. The snake's almost trying to reach out to attack, but it was too late. As suddenly this thing again, as it pulls away to the darkness, seeming to fade away. Okay. Awesome. As Nero, you on the ground now, sort of limping, trying to. You have to reduce your health.
He doesn't bleed! It's sparkles that come out of him, it's just
As
sparkles!
you're on the ground trying to get back onto your hooves, the blood and the rain around you sort of making it hard. Just above you,
Rainbow blood.
What the sparkles?
Sturges open up their wings and drop down on top of you. You're gonna have 2 attacks coming down with advantage.
It's celestial blood. Is there a tastier form of blood? I think not.
18 and 25.
Demon
I'm
blood.
sure he's got this! I'm sure he'll be. Well, he died on the
15
first
hit.
one, so.
As
First
these 2
stab.
Sturges
His
jump
body
down.
just explodes in this white light as the other one just stabs through nothing. He's gone.
As you see them stab into the body and immediately see the belly start to swell up for a moment before suddenly the body disperses in light. As the body, you see that for a moment the Sturge's stomach is actually starting to glow as it seems to eat some of this residue before like a puff of sparkles come out of its mouth. Or the left's just sort of floating freely in the air.
That sight of these things just feasting upon my fucking fallen horse. That just fucking gets Gregory's cockles up. And you just start seeing the hair rise on the top of the back of
No, it's cockle.
Gotten his cockles up, man.
His dander's up. His dander.
Yep.
As above you, the Sturges take off the edge. You can see they're flapping around, but their eyes and strangely, like you can see out of their long cone-like mouths, these long, thin, needle-like tongues sort of looking out at the air as they seem to be searching. As these guys are and
They all go after poor Javen. I guess Samantha's closer.
As indeed, a couple of these creatures able to sense this, basically the spilling of blood, dropping down here to Samantha, and one of them down here to Samantha, but down to the air, just being above you. Still within reach though. 2 attacks coming your way. This time not with advantage because Samantha's still standing. 18.
That
Okay, I'm back.
Will connect.
As this long piercing snout comes digging down into that wound you just received from the creature as you take 5 piercing damage.
Plastic creatures.
The one will
Javen,
come
you got
down
crit
at
for
your side.
15 damage.
Ooh. The other one will not hit you.
Okay, so remind me, because I've rarely ever used the damn thing, because I rarely ever get attacked. So what's the ruling for crown of lashing snakes? Is it Are we doing like shield, like post roll or pre roll?
It attacks at you. The attack happens. You can make your reaction.
Gotcha. Okay.
You can fight one of these guys.
Yeah, so I would poison the 18 then, because I thought it was like one of those. You have to just declare it before you even get rolled on.
No, basically, the attack still connects with you as it stabs into your body, but then you can immediately react to have your snakes bite it back.
Gotcha. So I will do that.
Gotta make brain melting out of ear.
Con save against my spell save.
Let's see if you can make it.
If you go by that ruling, though, most likely it won't affect the actual roll itself they're making.
No, it just makes it. It can just you have a chance of poison. That's basically the strength of it.
Uh, 18 will totally make it.
As you can see, you stick your fangs into it and start pumping your venom into its body. As it seems like just immediately the flush of your blood into its form seems to
counteract
seems
it.
to counter that. Yeah, strange how that works.
Thanks for the antidote, bitch.
All right. Here. Ooh. Interesting. Okay.
Give him purse.
Persephone. You see Samantha with one thing fluttering next to her, another one stuck in her shoulder. Her snakes are biting out at it.
Yeah, as the Sturges were coming, Persephone was grabbing a hold of her clear crystal, now glowing a soft red. Okay, light. Got it. And a small ethereal flower of flame blooms on top of the fountain, the petals folding down to become a gown on a fiery winged silhouette. And that would be my flaming sphere. Because it will give light.
Nice.
And it doesn't hurt anybody around me.
It does give off.
Or around it. It does!
Feet.
And it hits!
Yeah.
It's a Rami boy. Let's see.
Putting it on the fountain?
Yeah, right on here.
Oh, you can hit the Sturge with that then.
How big are you? How big are you, light boy?
Looks like 20
5 foot
feet.
diameter.
Just a normal torch.
There's a torch, and how big is the 5 foot diameter spear? Okay, sure. Let's just do like. Yeah. Right.
Boom.
Hey. As this ball of light just seems to come into view. Okay. As it seems to illuminate this area even greater, you can actually see. God, I mean, it's raining a lot, but there's a lot of blood spilling on the ground now. Let's see, how far does that reach? Okay. Anything else you want to do?
I was hoping something was gonna pop out, but it didn't. So that's gonna be.
Still have a
my-
bonus action.
Yeah,
You want me to ram it into you? Or how are the Sturge up? Because if it... No, it's only if you end your turn. Yeah, ram it into a Sturge. Ram it into this guy.
Yeah, one's on her, the other one's not. So that one's not actually
Ram
on.
it,
This
ram
one's
it
stuck.
into this one!
Okay, so ram into the bottom boy.
Yeah, ram it into bottom boy.
All right, as this thing, I'm moving the camera out of the way. Come on, get a heat. Put you on the tip of me. How about that? There we go. This thing comes running right down here, makes it about here to this thing. Gets within 5 feet. Yeah. And creature to spear. So I'm assuming, square-wise, it just runs into the adjacent square and counts as hitting them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't end its spot in somebody's square or anything.
As this creature's pulling itself off of Samantha, trying to look for another opening, this rolling ball of fire, this rolling gown comes rolling this way and has to make a dex save. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Actually, I don't think it freaking matters. How do you want to kill this thing?
As the dancer on fire comes twirling towards it, it grabs onto the Sturge and almost tries to twirl with it, but as it does, it engulfs it in fire.
just spinning and twirling, and it grabs onto the little sturgeon, pulls it into a little waltz, and then burns it on the inside. Love it. As it falls down into cinder as it pulls into its place, and as the light seems to cascade across the area now, moving across the air, you can actually see some of the darkness in this corner unfurling itself and being consumed by the light, as this creature is now revealed.
We got one to the south! And that's my turn.
All right. Samantha.
So just at the start of my turn, just as a bonus action, my scales just sort of just ripple over my skin as I just toughen myself up and just call on a lot more twitch muscle to make myself a lot more agile, increase my AC, increase my defenses. And these is like I'm just kind of like getting this thing, it's like sucking on my blood. But there's one to the south of me now, and I look at this thing. Does it look like an actual animal, or does it just seem like a shadow creature, like sort of like Luna's wonderful knight, her hound?
It's an interesting question you just asked, because it does look like Luna's hound in a way, this massive corporeal shadow, but as it congeals now and as firelight casts across its body, you can see the rippling of flesh, the movement of muscles beneath. It's like this thing doesn't look like it's made of the same matter as you guys, and yet it still acts like one.
So it doesn't look like it's made of the same. Could I
Looks
get
like
maybe
muscle
like a
sound.
knowledge check to try to determine if it's actually a beast?
Give me an Arcana check. This chain ain't natural. Oh yeah, looking at this thing, your first thought would maybe be like, maybe undead or construct, some sort of spirit or manifestation, maybe even like an elemental or something, but the way it seems to form itself into an actual congealed, almost like the appearance of flesh, you'd almost think this thing was probably a form of monstrosity, something not quite defined, not quite abstract as the thing still, beyond our understanding, but like it looks like it should be a creature, and so it must probably act like a creature then. Must function biologically like one. Poison time.
I had something a lot more interesting in mind, but perhaps another time. Oh. Look at my spell list.
Okay.
Alright, so seeing that was out of reach of my dominion for now, I will Eldritch Blast it twice in the face.
Okay, give me them shots. As even though there's this creature literally stuck into your shoulder, just draining away, you're just, nope, don't even care about it. You can focus your magic on this thing. Give me those attacks.
Bap, bap.
Bap, bap. Ooh, as those bap baps will connect. Ooh, okay now, okay. Wow, interesting section now, okay.
Okay, alright.
Give me those damage rolls. Give me those damage rolls, okay?
And
those are some good. How do you want to kill this thing?
First, spectral snake just grabs onto its throat, lifts it up almost off all of its four of its legs, and the second shot just carries it into the wall. You just hear this sickening crunch, and there's this green crackle of energy across its chest. Oh, come on now, not that wall. I got 20 feet of push. The back wall. Always go.
That's an alleyway. That's where you came from. As it boofs against the hanging sign and crashes its body, you can see the energy course across its body, and then just before, it looks like it's about to fall dead as a creature, but then the energy seems to almost crackle its body, and it falls away into just dust and nothingness, just this pile of black smolder. And Samantha, you feel this hot energy leave your hand as you cast a spell, and immediately it's followed by this resounding chill as it runs, actually maybe from your wrist, your neck. Where are you wearing the Spell Rain Catalyst?
I am 99% certain I'm wearing it as a choker because I got it right after the throat incident.
As you feel that chill run from your breath, almost like fogging your breath for a moment, but that calm, it's not chilling, it's not upsetting, it's almost calming and focusing. as it only lasts for a moment before suddenly that heat resounds and it's uncontrolled. As it seems like it was going to do something for you, Samantha, but your power is too great for it. As for having finally, I want to stress this, after 63 fucking sessions of having this fucking item, one of you has managed to make a critical spell attack while wearing it. As you have finally unlocked.
I literally never crit.
No, I didn't.
To the Spell Ring Catalyst. I gotta move a thing real quick.
It took 63 sessions for me to crit and Eldritch Blast. Jesus Christ.
You were 6 off from greatness.
I was the one wearing it
6
since we
off.
got it.
As its power is not enough to help or contain you, specifically Samantha, but you feel if this were to be greater, or if this were maybe to hand off to a lesser spellcaster or someone else in the group, you'd be able to channel your magic in a more direct and quicker way, as with its awakened form, the Spell Ring Catalyst allows its conduit to cast spells of 3rd level or lower as both an action and a bonus action on the same turn.
God damn it!
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yep, no one's gonna get that. That's Samantha's forever.
Samantha can't use it.
I gave it to her!
Samantha doesn't give back things.
I mean, she can't.
As the power courses through you and you feel it again residing again. The power's connected to you, but might be worth looking into later. Is that all you do on your turn?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Do I need to read that again?
No, I'm just asking, are you sure?
It's just a little warm. It's just a little warm.
Fire hand reaching out to dance with you.
I was thinking the next thing I was going to do was move, but I was like, there's something else I need to do? Yeah, okay.
You need a move.
Yeah, I know. As I will...
You can jump into the fire and kill the Sturge. That's all I do.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Might be worth it.
Worth it.
Can I do that?
You have to end your turn there.
Right.
The way you say "tried" is so ominous, so wonderfully ominous. As I'm going to skirt away from this flame, and hey, what's up, buddy? Hey, Greg. Hey, how you doing? You get this fucking thing off of me!
Oh hell! Hold on.
So I'm like reaching up, trying to grab it, but it's like I'm like desperately trying to touch my own spine, and I can't reach it. As that is where I'll end my turn.
All right. As Quill, you find that Javen again gets struck by one of these creatures, almost pulling him to the ground and fading away into the darkness. You know there's probably one of them still out there attacking him, but it seems like the rest of the group is running in the direction that you can now run in yourself. What do you do?
I am going to... Because I'm used to fighting in a city. You're just going to hear my pummel of my sword bash against my shield as I have a loud cacophony ringing out, trying to pick up any kind of sound vibrations. Maybe I get a perception check?
So you're banging on your shield to make that what?
Yeah, like echolocation. So I'm taking the pommel of my sword, banging it on my shield to have the sound kind of reverberate off the walls in here to see if I can't pick up any kind of area where it seems to just kind of...
Elves are part bat.
You don't have echolocation, I'm afraid.
Well, then I'm just going to step here.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm going to step here.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm going to step here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to step here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to step here.
Okay.
And I'm going to step here.
Okay.
And
You're walking around in this... You can see in the dim light a little bit with the torchlight sort of crashing around you. You're holding your sword out, your shield in the other hand, and sort of looking for some signs, but all you see is the darkness around you.
And because I'm never getting close to me, they probably won't be there. I will move there, and I will use a bonus action.
Hmm? Oh.
Check poor Javen. That'll be my turn.
Alright. Nice.
Still have an action, right?
What do you want to do with your
I
action?
didn't run into anything, so I can't swing at anything.
I mean, you can prepare actions in 5th edition.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I thought that if I use my bonus action, I can hold an action.
No.
Oh, then I'll hold an action to attack if anything.
basically
I
what
haven't
this
seen any
Javen.
tactical fighting game where you can't do that.
Yeah. Basically, what you're doing right now, John, is with this combined with the power of your sword, if anything comes running within range, you can swing at it wildly. If something pops out of the darkness to go attack at Javen, you can use this or just a held action to attack it either way.
Okay, that's what I do.
Okay. So go
That's not
defense
just
mode.
backseat game. I need to shut the fuck up. Sorry.
Too much Pathfinder.
All right, as Javen, you're recoiling from that second bite, but this time you see Quill, the knight in shining armor, coming to stand before you, and it seems like the darkness that's just lashing out at you today. What do you want to do, my friend?
Darling, shadows are not my friends. There's Steven. So I'll turn around with Quill's back to my back, and also prepare my action.
Ooh.
Just fight. Cause fuck you, darkness. I don't have magic missile, so I can't cast it at you. I'll just use my fist.
Just preparing to attack?
Uh-huh. Hopefully at me. Or Quill.
Okay. Is that your turn?
Mm-hmm.
All right. As both of you back-to-back weapons drawn, fists drawn, ready to strike out at the darkness if it comes at you, Gregory.
Hell, as anger starts to subside, and Samantha comes running up with this fucking bug attached to her back. Like, hell, hold on! And I just line my sword up. I just try to press my hand against her shoulder, put my hand in between her and my blade, as I just slice across this thing, trying to just separate its big old nose from its head, but also just driving the big old blade into the front of its face, across its eyes, trying to cut off its nose and into its face at the same time. So I just
Okay, so then what do you do to the Sturge?
He's doing a thrust.
Thrust!
As you do, fortunately, maybe with the glowing sword helping guide you, it's gonna be a little tricky as you're trying to, you're just smacking the thing, it's fine. You're trying to cut this thing off of Samantha without really hitting her, but fortunately you swing true, cut through its beak, and you just cleave this thing in half. As Samantha, it's immediate relief as this thing's weight falls off of you, and then as it vomits forth some of your own blood back onto your shoulder, as its mouth has basically been removed.
I got it. Hell, as I start running towards Luna, it's getting surrounded by these bugs. Watch out, there's still more up above! As I come in with this thing 5 feet up in the air, about like head height or so, or shoulder height for me, I just cleave sideways as I just cut as I move along, basically just catching it on the side of my blade as I just drag it along with me as I slice forward. I think 28 will hit.
Absolutely. You want to kill it?
Slice through its body, just taking its body along with me, as I know I'm just sort of swatting these things out of the sky, as I'm bringing my blade back around with a bonus action to strike down on the hindquarters of this creature as well, just trying to cut the best I can across it.
And how do you want to kill it?
As I just bring it into its hindquarters and cut across its body, through it, and plus like outside, basically underneath its stomach, just basically cutting off its hind.
You carve up its body, the light seeming to actually break into its strange shadowy form, and just as Samantha has noticed herself, as you carve up its body, it seems to split in half for a moment before falling away into what seems to be nothingness. This pile of black, like ash and sand on the ground.
I see one more of these bugs that I can sort of reach as I start to make my way towards its location. I also know this is the last sense I got from Nero that there's a path this way, as I just move there with the last bit of my movement, as just trying to take in my surroundings, but that is... I don't see you! Damn it!
As you walk up here, Gregory's sword just burning around through the air, basically lighting the air up. You do finally manage to see another one of these shadowy things reappear, where it looks like on the ground there should be something like blood, but mostly just like spatterings of something that are now fading away in light. As this creature, it looks like the culprit of Nero's demise, staring at you.
Damn it. That's me, baby.
Alright, as Luna, you see Gregory come forward and tear through one of these creatures. Even one of the things almost trying to peck out at where Gregory's horse used to live on the ground. But now, he's sort of clearing a path. but your body still sort of shivers at that sound, that hiding out in the darkness. What do you do?
I'll look at this new dog that just kind of appeared out of nowhere as I will create these 2 balls of chaotic energy and shoot one out at this one as I will also twin cast it to add that thing in the sky.
Okay.
How do I have disadvantage?
You don't see what you're scared of, so no.
So, 14.
All right, 14 will do it. As you shoot out around, it looks like it would be kind of hard to get around Gregory because he's right in the way, but fortunately you were quite skilled at bending your spells around obstacles, and you managed to strike this thing true. Ooh, 13 will that be?
Just break his mind and do psychic damage.
Psychic damage?
Second.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, as the bolt turns into this massive shadow that just seems to swim into his own shadowy form, it looks like it doesn't do anything to him until suddenly its body starts to twitch and you can see its shadowy form start to like shiver and almost dissipate as its head starts to wobble on its shoulders, and it almost looks like it falls apart until it reconstitutes itself.
And then one of that guy.
One of that guy, give me that attack. Ooh, as you shoot up in the air, this thing flapping its multiple arms, it's strangely agile in the air. It's not just a bat with one pair of arms. It seems like it's got at least 2 sets of wings allowed to do these strange aerodynamic maneuvers. Pulls at itself just out of the way.
And that's my turn.
Notice how goofy they were.
Okay. Over to the east. Both warriors back to back looking through the darkness. Suddenly, between both of you, a set of teeth reach out through the darkness and try to chomp onto you, Javen. As this guy's gonna get his attack off first. Ah, shoot. 15.
Oh no, because that would be using
Do I get an attack off too?
So what happens is thing reach out to bite you. 15, I'm assuming, is not gonna hit you. So then you basically deflect the
No, it does
blow,
not.
and both of you get to attack.
Nice. Now
You
able
didn't hold
to
attack,
seeing the jaws come this time. You know, fool me once and twice. Actually, that was a pretty good shot on that second time, but I'm ready for it now.
Okay.
Easily able to dodge out of the way and getting me underneath it to sock it in the gut.
Alright, give me them
Anyway, it's
attacks.
gut should be. Roll multi-attack.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ooh, there's a crit.
Give me them damage rolls, baby.
I think you got him.
Javen and Quill, how do you both want to kill this thing? As you in tandem, at the same time, sword swinging and fist flying, take this creature down. What are you guys, each of you doing?
I'm cutting off the back legs.
Yeah, so Quill swing from above, and I'll come down from below, punching it first in its face, and then punching it again in its upper midsection, or I think where its chest would be.
With a surprising amount of grace and strength between the both of you, you see Quill's blade flying up, cutting its back legs, its body sort of falling down, rising itself up as Javen strikes it in the front. Basically, both of you destroying both ends of this creature at the same time in a matter of moments. As once it appeared with teeth ready to rip, at the next moment, it disappears in a pile of basically dark sand, or blowing away in the rain.
Yeah, how that feel? Huh. It's come to you.
Nowhere else to go, this creature lurches forward through the darkness towards the light itself as Gregory, this thing's going to try and jump and sink its teeth into you.
Damn dog.
7.
And it comes up, just bites into the blade. It almost seems like it starts to dissipate a little bit in the light as I just have to hold the blade up. The magic itself deflects it.
Using the light to deflect the darkness.
Yeah.
Let's see. And Samantha, you see Gregory rushing off ahead, running towards this creature, now assaulting one of these other dark dogs around you, and then you hear... Yeah, you're looking down at your side, and, you got some blood on you. And these things... I'm dipping down, trying to get a taste. Let's see. 2 attacks coming at you, both of them normal. 22.
Try to crown that one.
Sure. As it sinks its big old mouth into you as it tries to resist. Ooh! But again, your blood is just granting them this strange unheard of resistance to your poison as another one's coming down to poke at your side. 18.
That'll just hit.
As it manages to get through your scales and armor as it pierces into your body, as you take a total of 7 plus 5 piercing damage as these things are latching onto your body and just trying to drain you out. This guy over here. Fluttering around. Ooh, actually. You can see, Gregory, as you're tackling this creature, this Sturge up here is tongue flicking out. You can see its head suddenly turn off in this direction, and it begins to...
Oh. Hell, damn it! Hell, somebody's hurt!
Ooh, okay. There, let's see. See if it's hurt. Ooh. Gotcha. And Luna, you're seeing these Sturges scatter in the air. Some of them going after Samantha now. Gregory being assaulted. Suddenly, you hear this strange clacking sound out of the darkness as something lurches forward and jumps into the light. As you see yet another. Get out of here. Yet another, I said.
Another!
One of these dark, shadowy figures, but this one seems a bit larger, bulkier in its form, as if there's too much shadow material stuffing it with strange muscle, as it's going to throw itself forward and try to bite you. And jump. Ooh, but maybe just being on edge, hearing these horrible howling sounds and seeing these things pop out of the darkness, it's old hat for you now, as you're able to easily evade it. How do you defend yourself against this thing?
I'm gonna just kind of move to the side as it tries to bite me and just kind of smack it on the nose. Bad.
You defend it sassily. As Persephone, you can see another one of these creatures coming out to attack at Luna on the edge of your vision as your your fire dancer rather, is spinning and twirling behind you, still holding your magical mind. What do you do?
I wait for my fire dancer to move over this way to give Javen and Quill a little more light, since it seems that we still have hounds popping out from the darkness.
Okay.
Can I move it? Can I move it?
Yes, you can.
No.
You can move it like 20, 30 feet?
I can, but can I mouse click it and move it? It won't.
Oh, I gotcha, because it's I didn't give it to
Yeah,
you.
it's okay.
So how far you can move it? 20 feet?
30.
30 feet?
Yeah.
As this dancer twirls and very expertly dances around some of the obstacles in its path. You can see some of its dress actually flowing across the bodies of these Sturges, now washed away by water, but the heat actually seems to catch them on fire a little bit and singe them. As you see, light just seems to wash over this entire area. And Quill, with your expert vision looking around, you see only like a small strip of dim sort of next to you, as well as you, Javen, sort of more easily able to see the dim light with your harsh, non-dark vision. But nothing seems to stand out to you guys.
Stay close. Great, then stay close to the light. Grab a lantern if you can. And I'm going to Thorn Whip on that Sturge and try to pull it off of Samantha.
Thorn Whip it. As you go through the air, Samantha just trying to get these things off, wiggling around a little bit. Just seems to throw off your aim ever so slightly as it whoosh, cracks in the air, not able to connect.
Okay.
Boy, what's that?
That's me trying to help you if you just stop moving! And I'm going to use all of my movement to maneuver right over here.
Okay.
That should be my turn.
Alrighty. Nice. Okay, Samantha.
Got these things off of me. I'm sick of this. As Samantha is just getting a bit frustrated, losing a lot of her vitality to these fucking bloodsuckers. And she's just going to try to just channel her frustration into just something simple, something almost primal to her. She's going to try to force this magic through this thing she's attuned to on her neck, trying to see if she can just lash out with primal savagery faster than she can normally.
Not quite how that works.
Swing and a miss.
I should start.
The way your thing works is you can cast a spell as an action and as a bonus action same turn. There's no weird like cast a third level spell as a bonus action. You can only cast cantrips. Allows you to do the our homebrew thing, but only with the magic item.
Yeah, but only with first to third level spells, not 0th level
Took
spells.
about 63 sessions, I'm
Cantrip
afraid.
is the one
Didn't
of
get to get
5
the use of it.
numbers.
Ah, if it was cantrips, oh god.
You can already do cantrips.
Yeah.
It doesn't turn stuff into bonus action.
Yeah, it's just the homebrew we always use, where it's like, hey, if you cast a leveled spell as a bonus action, you can also cast a leveled spell as an action too in your same turn. There's no restriction there. But only for the
We
level.
don't have that homebrew rule in this game.
Oh yeah.
Got you. Okay, I thought
Yep.
it turned it into. Okay, that makes
No,
more sense. So just kind of feeling that chill from my neck, she just channels it instead into her bread and butter, as she will just conjure forth a bit of eldritch magic around her hands and just swipe out in these long claw-like strikes, one at each of these Sturges on her.
All right, give me them attacks. Your resolve carries you, and even though they are latched onto your body, your ranged strikes still attack normally. How do you want to kill them both?
Just shred them into pieces. It looks like somebody julienned Sturges, and they just collapse to the ground in little
That sounds
piles.
delicious.
Yeah, you want some julienne sturge? We're gonna make some sturge fry tonight.
As you guys see the sudden burst of magical forces, these ethereal claws rip across Samantha's body, and then gore just spatters across the ground around her.
You just see her just almost shift her stance a little bit as she seems to be just frustrated, blood coming off of her wounds. And it looks kind of weird because you don't see her snake hair. You just see her black hair almost seeming to just float in midair in separate chunks, whipping around, looking around angrily.
Ugh.
As knowing that, yeah, Samantha's gonna go forward, leaving a path open for Gregory, seeing him sort of preemptively, I think, shifting his stance to get to the sister.
Okay.
That will be it for me.
Making your way down, Quill, you and Javen together were able to carve one of these creatures to nothing, and now this area seems to be filling with greater light. Doesn't really seem like there's much over here. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna dash.
You are pushing past Javen, making your way down here. You can see piles of gore and rain washing away in the water as it looks like Luna's now besetting some creature that's trying to snap out of here from the darkness, but this time, it doesn't seem to fade away.
That is... Oh no, I used that, so then I could technically use that. Because that was my action to dash. Yep, why not? I am going to... Boof! Right over there with my... Oh,
Faced up.
that butt.
Next.
Hey! What's it look like when you cast Fey, your Fey teleportation again, when you use your Misty Step?
In this case, like, as I'm running just so fast, for a second you see Quill near Luna, then all of a sudden, poof! He's in front of Gregory, as it just seems like he kind of phased out real quick, and then...
The
You
fastest,
blinked him,
largest...
you would have missed!
That's amazing.
Anime
I love
as
that.
fuck, I love it.
Give yourself some DM inspiration.
I already have DM inspiration.
And roll yourself a D100.
Oh wait, I can do this on Roll20 without typing it now!
Hey. Alright, is that your turn, Quill?
Thank you, Roll20. That is my turn.
Alright, Javen, you see Quill managing to run, moving surprisingly quick for a man in armor, and then suddenly vanishes outside the range of your vision. What do you want to do?
I can't grab that fire, that Persephone conjured, can I?
I mean,
Yeah, I guess
it's
I
reaching,
could.
it's reaching out its hands to you, but you saw this thing grab something and pull it into fire and burn it away into nothing. It doesn't really seem like there's anything super solid about it. It seems like it can run into something and have some sort of physical connection to it, but it doesn't really seem like something you could pick up and move around. Maybe you can certainly try.
Yes, I suppose I could.
As you look down at your dragonborn hands.
Man, I'm concerned for this one.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the Shadowhound's just gonna come and eat her.
Nah, it's okay, Leroy. We don't want her anyways.
What do you want to do, Javen?
Okay. No, like Gregory's pointing off to somewhere. I don't know where that is, Gregory.
I can't even see Gregory.
So yeah, I'll go over to the woman and put my back towards her. Again, preparing my action to attack if any of the Shadowhounds come near her. Because they certainly were coming for Javen.
Mm-hmm. Defense is high, using your bloodied and battered body as something as both shield and bait. You put yourself between danger and this wounded girl, who you can hear sort of sigh a breath of relief as she speaks to you from behind. Please, will they save her? She's all by herself.
Who? Wait, where?
My sister. She's that away.
Does she point towards Gregory?
Pointing to wherever
Towards the rest of the
everyone is
group
running.
is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Alright,
Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
be safe. Javen contemplates that actually. And still holding his action, but oh god, why can't I move you? Oh, there you go. Javen will focus deep within himself, knowing that this girl is in danger and he can do something to help that. And he'll let that sort of push him forward as he'll use a bonus action to dash, step of the wind. As I murder her. Why can't I select you? Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Step of the wind, doubling my movements.
Nice.
Or were you hoping he was going to stay
Staying
and
to
defend
just
her?
whoosh whoosh.
Suddenly, almost as quick as Quill, this dragon comes sliding around. You can see the water scattering behind his feet as he's running. Almost seems like it doesn't slow you down, Javen, walking across this slick surface of the stone, but suddenly you're by Gregory's side, who's tackling this shadowy monster.
It goes whoosh. Oh, are they not over there?
Oh, where did you go?
He went
Way
all
up
the way to
north.
yeah, he went all the way to the other end.
Oh, yeah. As you make it down, you can see it looks like the fenced-off area of someone's home. Like looks like something like a small farmstead within the town. And then to your right, there's this other walkway, but it doesn't seem like any lights really being shed down there, at least from what you can tell. Or maybe just from this angle. you ran right fucking back. Okay.
I ran past them. Where? So I think I can move back like 5 feet. I don't see anything.
And you can see, like, down this dark alleyway, there's just this soft, like, almost cone of light. It looks like there's possibly a torch somewhere down here in this area, but you can't quite make anything out.
Damn it. 'Cause that's actually all of my movement. Because I dashed. That's a lot of
Okay,
movement.
Javen used all of his movement? That's no
I
problem.
know.
That
As I
never
fly
happened.
halfway across the map.
As we come down to Gregory, still fighting off this thing, trying to bite into you.
As everyone starts to teleport and run past me as this thing is just clawing at my blade. Get the hell off of me! As just the rage starts building in me, knowing that there's someone out there that these things keep fucking holding him back to get into. As the rage grows, as with a bit of fury in his heart, he just carves out with all of his strength against this beast, just attacking recklessly, just trying to carve it in half to get it off of him, get it out of the way, as he is attacking Great Weapon Master with rage, with advantage, as he carves into this fucking thing. Ooh! Ooh!
Let's see.
Ooh. Oh, is he gonna make it?
How do you want to kill this thing?
That's just... He just turns the blade ever so slightly, catches it on the side, and just carves through its body as he takes one big ol' step. And with the rage filling his soul, knowing that there's still something out there, he is just running with strange speed for Greg's large size as he just peels around this corner as he just keeps on fucking going. As he makes it quite a bit of ways as he is charging down this place. The hell! No! As he is just shouting his fucking head off, running down this big old gleaming blade with him as he goes.
Ooh, and as you're running, Greg, you're making your way around this corner. You can see that sturge flipping its way down towards here. You can see down this alleyway, like huddled next to this small torch, is a younger, more frail-looking girl. Doesn't really seem to be wounded or sorts. But you do see, sitting around this corner, is another one of these wolves with silver fur, seeming to face you for a moment, but you realize its eyes aren't fixed on you. Instead, as you approach this area, the edge of your glowing sword is happening to basking around this corner. You can see this thing's eyes are fixed on this strange, shadowy beast, as it seems to be facing off with one another.
But as I turned this corner, my mind wasn't quite on maybe a big old dog, but mostly on that fucking insect that was going after every person's blood. As I see this woman in the distance and this bug making a beeline for it, I pull an axe out of my belt and I fucking chuck it at this. As I throw a hand axe.
How do you want to kill this thing?
It just slices into its back as it just thunks to the ground with the big old hatchet sticking out of its back. Ugh! As I continue to charge on forward. That is my turn.
Alright. As Luna, you're trying to follow with the rest of your friends, but then there's this large dog thing attacking out at you, this large bulky creature that is snapping out at you with its teeth.
I'm just gonna look down at this creature and just kind of smack at it and just say, not the only dog that just lives in the shadows, as I will whistle out, and from the shadows that this creature expels, just this hand is going to start slowly coming across its face, grabbing its its mouth like a muzzle, as I will summon my Shadow Hound.
Pour yourself a D100. And also give yourself some inspiration. That's fucking cool.
Oof.
Okay, good. As this thing turns around to see the shadow forming in front of it, it starts to lash out its teeth, and then this big, almost metal hand comes onto its face and holds it back as this knight seems to manifest as a hound faces off against a hound.
As I will also shoot it with the Chaos Bolt. Fuck it.
Chaos Bolt. Oh, okay. As it turns around to basically turn away from you, you use that opportunity to conjure more magic and catch it, and it does land true. What type of damage are you doing?
Force damage.
Pure magical force. It seems like the shadow becomes almost solid for a moment as it strikes into its body and tears through this thing, leaving this small hole before it slowly starts to reform. As it takes a decent amount of damage, but still standing quite hardy. This thing is much larger than the other ones you've been facing up until now.
I turn to Persephone and say, Go help them. I will be fine here. As that's my turn.
Alright. As this creature turns its attention away from you, sort of torn between you and this new assailant as it goes for the closer creature. It's going to reach out and try to bite out at the hound. Chomp-a-chomp. 17?
Yes.
As the teeth sink into the armor, tearing and ripping away as it does 12 piercing damage. As he needs to make a strength saving throw, as he's trying to force himself against this creature not get knocked prone. Ooh, as the wolf tears into this thing and pulls it to the ground, the hound gets knocked to the ground as this thing is digging and ripping its teeth into its body. As you can see, strangely enough, Luna, as the teeth are sinking to this thing's body, the hound's armor seems to sort of twist underneath its mouth. It almost looks like it's giving way beneath the weight of its jaws, but as it pulls its mouth off, the armor seems to sort of bend and curl almost into a slightly new shape. But, let me use my eyeballs real quick. Ooh, as it does, this thing turns around between you and it, and then seems to fade away.
Oh, I took your light.
As, let's see, up here, Gregory, you can see these two creatures facing off. It looks like two wolves or a dog and a wolf, these strange, like a beast versus some sort of monstrosity, as this thing turns and just throws itself at this wolf and sinks its teeth into its hide and bites and rips like they're fighting each other. But you see it pull and like it's trying to maul this thing. This thing is clearly smaller than it until it pulls away, and you can see this thing's hide has been sort of marred. The fur has been disheveled, but it doesn't seem to like it hurt it. Then it sees you, and it sort of tries to turn its back and realizing it's sort of getting put into a pinch. That'll be its turn. The hound, now knocked prone, but your prey is now gone from sight. What do you do?
Could
Do the thing.
What thing?
The thing you're thinking to.
The nuke. Do the nuke.
Your hound cannot see him, but that does not stop it.
Yep.
Have you
Pursues them
completely read this
forever.
It automatically knows its target's location. That was my favorite thing
Read
about
your
that.
character sheet!
That was my favorite thing about that when we read it in Xanathar's. It always knows where it is.
I'm assuming it's still text with disadvantage though, because it still can't see it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. But you do as the hound sort of gets up. You can see, assuming he's getting up from being prone.
Of course.
But pulling itself up, you can see its eye, its head sort of swiveling around until suddenly you can see its head sort of veering off around this corner and seems to fixate on this small staircase right here.
As it's just immediately going to charge at that area and just make a swipe down at where it knows the creature.
All right, give me that.
Can't really see it.
With disadvantage.
I believe.
Ooh. As you see nothing, the hound sees nothing in its face. It takes the sword made of umbral energy and just swings out through the darkness, but it doesn't need eyes to see its target. It can smell it, it can sense it. It is designed to kill this thing as you hit it. Carving into this wolfen form that seems to form just in front of you enough to see what you're cutting. Ooh! As you carve, you can see a surge of this darkness appear for a moment before disappearing, and that darkness that carves away from this form seems to coalesce and wrap around the blade of your knight. As if it's taking some of its own shadowy energy away.
I think it's just 9 damage. I don't know why it's rolling 2 things.
Oh. Sure. Haha.
Oh, because it crit up. No.
Yeah,
I'm not-
it does this sometimes. I don't know why. Weird. Anyway.
As that would be my hound's turn.
Okay. As Persephone, you see the rest of the group is running ahead. Gregory is just charging forward, and Luna and this knight were fighting something, and it seemed to disappear until the knight seems to be carving through this empty space in the darkness. It seems to be ripping away at something, even if you can't see it.
Well, Luna gave me the go-ahead, so I look back to where I left my fire, and I remember the woman's still there. I decide to leave it there. They don't like the light. They can stay away.
Okay. And I start leaving. Oh god.
That is 40. Do I do the thing? Can I do the thing? Do I need it? I read this. I just gotta read it quick. Can I see like around here, or is that corner too sharp?
Corner's a little... You can peek around the corner. That's enough space. You can look around. If I let you see it, you can see it.
Awesome.
As you see, peek around the corner, you see Gregory, this big, muscly, hulking form, growling and roaring down the stairs, and then this shadowy mass down there, and then some of the light from around this corner. You can make out another shape of one of these wolves, but they seem to be facing off against each other.
Alright then, I am going to, as I come up to this corner, I am going to skip into the space in front of me, and as I do, a glittering mist swirls out from Persephone's back, wrapping all around her. And around the corner, like these glittering wings opening, Persephone appears, finishing her skip as she lands with her brand new misty step.
Conjuring forth your Fey magic.
peering around Gregory so I can see. What's going on?
Things are fine.
Oh, okay, that should be good, right? Not us.
Okay.
She's down there though.
Okay. As this
Sort
thing
of running
pulls
as I'm yelling back, I guess, at Purse if she's catching up with.
Oh no, I appeared behind you.
she's teleporting right behind you. Hi, Greg! As,
I'm just continuing to run though.
as you see this creature now pulling itself out of the jaws of this other massive monstrosity, it sees now 3 people barreling down towards it. You can see it look around and it turns heel and just sort of almost like it's about to kick this thing in the face. It kicks off the ground and just seems to dart away out of sight. Samantha.
Fuck.
You see a knight swinging at the darkness, seeming to cut something, and all the rest of your friends are running around a corner. What do you do?
I had a plan. I gotta think of a new one.
This is the Valiant Vanguard. We don't do plans.
6-second round, 6-second turn. Everybody acting in 6 seconds. What do you do? Gut reaction.
Twerk on stream. There you go.
Twerk on stream, twerk on stream.
That'll buy
How
you
high
time.
is the wall to this staircase?
That's only about like, maybe about 10 feet or so at the highest. Like a 5-foot slant going up.
Going up.
You can probably
okay.
clamber up it. It's a little rainy, but whatever.
Is it's shortest at the farthest end though?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll
The
go
stairs
around here and try to get over the wall a little bit so I can, I don't know, so I can see, I guess.
Sure. Pull yourself up, kind of to keep an arm on, to, unless you're crawling all the way over into it, you're kind of keeping yourself up along the edge with one arm. And you look down and you see the knight taking his sword, ready for another swing at nothing, it looks like. At the darkness.
Creature you can see. God damn it. I was like, that has to be an AoE, right? I really thought poison spray was just like, you just do a literal spray. No, it's something you have to see it. Neat.
Look for its pores.
Okay, well, you know, it's only the best cantrip in the game, so I'm just gonna, just feeling frustration that I can't see this thing, and just trying to come up with a plan last second. Samantha's just going to just conjure up her will and just try to force it through her emerald shard once again. This time, calling on magic she's basically never called on before. Just burn this thing away, and just trying to force a create bonfire in the space
Interesting.
that that thing should hopefully be in.
Sure. Give me an Arcana check.
Yep.
I like how I won you over on the create bonfire.
You did. You really did.
As what's your bonfire look like?
Oh, come on now, baby. It's it looks. No, it's
Like
just
you
like,
made a campfire out of snakes?
nah. Fuck bronze, baby. It's all black and gold where I'm from. So it's just like this out of nowhere. Poof, this little black and gold brazier appears and poof, green flame just sprouts from it and tries to burn whatever's in front of it or whatever's on top of it. Almost a sacrifice to Medusa. Did you just put the green flame?
No.
You just green tint a campfire token. I love it.
Sure, we'll just make it. We'll make it a baby. I don't know if it explicitly says it sheds light. My eyes are killing me.
It does not.
We'll make it shed light. It's fucking fire.
Yeah.
Wall of fire does not generate
it is
light,
fire.
woman.
It's okay. Logic. As this fire suddenly erupts out of the ground, this green flame emerging, suddenly this creature appears and ooh, I have to make a dex save. Ooh. As suddenly, it seems to suddenly, its legs seem to give way for a moment before reappearing around the fire, sort of pulling itself away from the majority of its heat. Not quite being burned, but still being illuminated in this soft green light. Now somewhat beset by a red light, as the visor of the knight seems to be facing it fully.
And then just with that, seeing it pop back into existence, Samantha's gonna just, not trying to go for the pull-up world record here, drop herself back down, and position herself here, maintaining her concentration on that bonfire and keeping her snake hair on a swivel.
Okay.
That's it for me.
All right. As Quill teleporting into frame, it seems like your friends are starting to join you from behind, but maybe there's some commotion going on in the back, but there's still problems going on ahead of you. Ooh. You make it down to the stairwell. You dashing? I can't hear you, buddy.
Muted, baby.
Yeah, I'm
But I
dashing.
can read your baby lips. I gotcha. Okay, so you run down, dashing down these stairs, slide down the stairs, and come across this thing, sort of cutting off the path of where you see the tail end of this other creature running away.
Oh, you ran away.
Yeah, something ran off in this direction when you were running down, and you turn down here, it's gone.
That's fine. Because you know what? Why the fuck not? We use a little bonus action. Gonna be like, boop boop. And I'm gonna be like, action surge. I'm gonna be like, boop boop. Oh, wait, then I need to do this too. And then, whoop. Wow. I'll just give up tonight.
13s and 15s.
I mean, I
let's
rolled a
see.
4,
Feels bad, don't it?
a
Fighting
4,
spirit.
a
Ooh.
5, and a 6. It got a little bit better. Hey, I
Well,
rolled 4,
well,
5, 6, 7.
You only rolled 2 attacks, didn't you? So you have 2 more attacks.
No, I rolled 2 attacks.
He
I
dashed and
dash.
Oh.
Yeah. But as you run down, even though your strikes maybe aren't as quick and precise as they were before, this thing is hulking and bulking, and you sort of fill the space immediately of where that other creature was, and catch off guard as both those attacks will connect. We'll do the first one and the second one, so that's 12 and 12.
Nice.
As 2 cuts carve into its body. Even though this thing is massive and muscular, your magical sword, Quill, with grace and strength, carves straight through it, leaving these like open gaps in its body where it seems to slowly be trying to fill them in with its own strange, unnatural flesh.
And I did one of those, and nope, I said I did one of those, and that'll be my turn.
Alrighty, Javen. You see Quill dashing past you down here, your partner in crime, and now you see him carving into this beast. Seems like there's at least one of these things left. And a sister to save?
Oh, there she is.
Battle.
Sort of half smiling, half grinning to see that she's relatively okay, yeah?
She looks pretty scared. She's also like her sister, sort of huddled up against this torch, almost holding it above her shoulder. She doesn't seem like she's holding any wounds on her, though. She just seems terrified.
Oh, a classic side effect of having your life endangered by phantom dog that appears out of nowhere. As I'll sort of jump up and give the dog the people's elbow.
Give him that people's elbow.
Yeah,
Ooh!
get
as
back,
you're
broken.
as you're running down the stairs, Javen, you see this sister seemingly fine with your passive perception, not so bad, and you see this wolf being cut up by Quill. You jump up the stairs and give him the people's elbow.
I give him the people's elbow. Can you smell what the rock is cooking?
As you come
we get
crashing
soup.
down with your dragon elbow, crashing on top of this thing's body. Give me damage. As you do, ooh, a whopping 16 as you crash into its body, you almost knock it flat to the ground as your weight collapses on top of it. But it's still somewhat standing, keeping itself on its paws.
Dang, it's so corporeal. Oh, it's cheating. You should just die at the crit. This isn't fair. I'm calling Jeremy Crawford. I mean Mike Merles.
So what else do you do, baby?
As having it down for the count, essentially. I'll just use my one more attack, try to bop it in the head. See if that doesn't finish it off. We're in go to sleep mode. Go to sleep.
Sleep mode activated.
Go to sleep.
As you punch him in the back of the head, just trying to knock this thing out. Ooh, cracking the back of its skull. You can see its body starting to break apart beneath you after a second of blow. It seems like it's still held together, but like you can see some of its flesh starting to crumble and break away as it's losing its mass.
Why are the shadow dogs so tough? So tough. As just finishing it off after holding it down with one hand and punching it with the other. I'll stop, release, and then just give 2 quick flurries of blows. As I spend a key point to do that.
Okay.
Oh fuck.
Both those will connect.
Really quick,
How do you
I
wanna
guess,
kill
like
him?
Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, you know, the...
How do you want to kill him?
Yeah, just punch him right down in the skull, following up the... I guess the first punch. Because the first one was actually a people's elbow. First punch and then second punch coming blindingly fast. Not even able to attempt to dodge. Why?
Okay. Some of those last 2 quick blows striking into its body. You can see that what's left of its form seems to break down to that dust and then wash away with the rain. As it is now dead before you. Beneath you, I guess. Anything else you want to do?
I flex. Yeah.
Okay.
Shadow dog. Yeah.
As Gregory... Oh, you anything else you want to do?
Actually, yeah, I'll approach the girl.
I approach the girl.
Calmly.
Menacingly.
As you see the girl, you approach her, she looks up to you, and you see her just sigh with relief, and you see a pair of hands come out and grab onto your, like, I guess your pant leg? You wear pants, right? She seems so happy to see you. Thank
My
you!
one cloth.
Those monsters coming from the darkness. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. As Gregory, you're making your way down the...
stairs.
Oh, okay. Gregory, making your way down the stairs, you see Quill dash past you as well as Javen, these 2 older gentlemen, but quick and experienced to bring you around you really quickly and seeming to finish off this creature. As you see now, Javen is sort of tending to the girl. What do you want to do?
Yes, they started moving this way before I did. As I was trying to catch up with them, they surge ahead, cut down this thing. But I do know that one of the strange hounds ran off as I am just booking it down the staircase as fast as I can, trying to catch up with them. Trying to cut this corner, my shoulder just bashes into the stonework of this building. You can just see a stone like splinter off as it brays across my armor as I turn the corner and start running past this thing, but very quickly I realize it's nowhere to be seen. Get the hell out of here! As I just clink my sword into the stonework in front of me as that anger starts to fade, as I don't see anything else threatening, as I see Javen tending to the woman. Does she look injured? Is she alright?
No, when you get closer with your glowing sword, still sort of flashlighting the entire area, you can tell that she looks terrified. She's clinging on to Javen's leg out of basically just relief from fear. She doesn't seem like she's holding any wounds like her sister is. She seems relatively fine.
As I just start to turn towards her, I realize that fucking breathing hard, as I might be a little bit of a scary sight for her, as I just take some deep breaths to try to calm down. How is she, Javen? As I'm just going to take my action to just sort of, just using a dash here, as I'm just sort of looking around the area to approach her, to just cover on both sides, make sure nothing else jumps out at her. But that is my turn, as the light of my sword starts to fade ever so slightly, but it's still illuminating the area at this point.
Okay.
Got a little bit more time on it.
Gotcha.
That's me.
As Luna, you were sort of accosted by the darkness as this thing was attacking you. The hound came out to save you. This creature ripped it to shreds, knocked it to the ground, and sort of faded away in the darkness, but it seems to have found it again. And thanks to Samantha's magic, a small illuminated light, green light shining from beneath it, this creature is now basically just a beacon for you. What do you do?
I'm going to try to end this as quickly as possible, so I will create the same ball of chaotic energy as it just kind of grows in massive size, as I will Chaos Bolt it at level 4.
Ooh, as that will connect. Give me that damage. See, that's 8 and 5, right? Yeah.
Well, do lightning damage.
Ooh, as the shadow becomes this crackling bolt of lightning that flies into this thing and strikes into its shadowy form. It seems like it sparks into white light thanks to Mitty's magic moving through him, almost casting away some of the darkness with your own shadow. As... Ooh. He's still standing. You see chunks of him falling to the ground as his body becomes more and more disapparated. Still standing, but not quite as whole. Another blow like that would definitely do him in.
So, my turn. I used all my
Okay.
spells.
Alright, as this thing has nowhere else to go, it looks around, faces this creature in front of it, and just starts to sink its teeth into its body. Gonna jib at it at the hound. A Champa. Ooh, how does the hound defend itself?
As a dog tries to bite the hound, he's just going to like raise his hand up, and it's going to kind of bite down at his hand, but the hound is just a bit stronger and can't really get a good grip.
Just keeps him at bay. This thing has nowhere really else to turn, and so it's left to you, hound. What do you do?
While holding Mastiff's maw, he's going to just bring his greatsword down at it. 13 up. Because he can see now.
13 will do it. 9. How do you want to kill this thing?
Just going to keep its head kind of straight for it, as it will just bring it down and cut it.
As you bring the sword down, the shadow ripping through its own shadowy form, dissipating across the ground, and then smashing down into this bonfire, spraying this bright, basically like flurry of green sparks into the air as the light seems to eat away at this thing's dark body. And with that, it almost seems like things have finally calmed down. All that's left is the sound of panting breaths as people are coming down from the heat of battle, soft sobs of a girl in distress, and falling rain that washes away the signs of what just happened. This girl like, holding on to Javen just sees Gregory approaching this massive, muscly form, but fortunately, with the light in his hand sort of showing off his now softening features, she gets back onto her feet. Thank you. Where's my sister? Where is she?
She's just around the bend. She should be safe. I left her with a good source of light.
One of those things bit her. One of those awful things bit her.
Does anything happen when they bite?
It hurts. They're monsters.
We'll tend to. We
Yeah, I can imagine.
group all back up together.
Thank you.
You can get up now, they're gone.
Are they? As she seems to be looking, mostly focused on this dancing woman who seems to be casting this glowing torchlight, as she seems to have sort of scooted a bit closer in that time. Where's my sister? Is she safe?
I look at some method. You didn't follow them. Yes, she's safe. Let's go to her right now.
Is there still like a corpse here or anything?
It just seems like a pile. It looks like when these things died, when Jamin crushed it, almost like pulverized it into like dust. Like it went from like a solid fleshy form to like just almost like sand or powder, and now it's sort of just washing away in the water. There's still some there. It's just sort of being washed away unless you do.
I want to like put some of it like in a jar.
Sure. Pull out one of your vials from your explorer's kit and you take some, and as it's washing away, sort of scoop it up. There's some water in there, but you look at it and sort of swirl it around, and now you have this sort of dark, cloudy liquid.
Of course I didn't follow after them. Do what, leave you alone here in this god-awful place to be attacked by hounds you can't see?
Alleyways.
Of course
Got it.
not.
Alleyways.
See a giant sign that says alleyway.
Alright.
So I will guide this lady to where I assume her sister is, around those corners.
Oh yeah, she starts to follow after you, getting a little closer.
Ah,
As you see these
Samantha, Luna. You survived.
as these two catch eyes, and you see them run into each other's arms. Oh, Grace! Grace! I thought they got you! I saw them drag you down! What happened? I don't know, Catherine. Just those things that came out of nowhere, and we got split up, and then those... Where did the wolves come from? I don't know. Would they attack you? Well, no. They just stood in front of us.
Wait,
Wait,
those wolves? That's a point to the wolf that we killed right there.
Yeah. They scared the shit out of me, but they didn't attack. I thought they were gonna attack, but they just kind of growled and looked around. What is? And she starts
Teleporting
looking at this. She starts looking at this wolf on the ground, and you can see it looks like Gregory really did a number on this thing. Like really did a number. As it looks like the sword had carved away not only some of the flesh, but it looks like some of the fur as well. As like almost looks like some of its body from the lower half upwards has been just removed, and you see like soft pink flesh beneath.
Everybody all right?
No better. Are you saying these wolves they weren't attacking you? They were just growling at the darkness.
I guess so. I thought they were those monsters, but they didn't bite at us like them.
One of them was fighting one of the big shadowy dogs further up. But it ran off as Gregory, Javen, Quill, and I were coming around the corner.
So the wolves are protecting people. That's
Or
beyond weird.
territorial.
I'm gonna kneel down and observe this wolf corpse.
Give me an investigation roll, Quill.
Oh yeah, because this is gonna be great. Hold on, let me see.
I mean, you're a pretty intent guy. You got a brain in you.
I want to
Why
investigate.
not? You know what? I'll use my DM inspiration. Why not?
Hey,
Doesn't make any difference because they're both bad.
what are you doing, or Persephone?
I want to see if there is an intact corpse of a sturgeon. I want to look at it and investigate it. I don't know. They've been popping like pimples.
There's one in there that I just sort of cut into the face of. It's mostly intact.
You find a couple almost gelatinized sturges around where Samantha was, but next to her there is one that seems to have lost its snout. It just seems to be mostly like a faceless, tiny bat insectoid looking thing. Quill, you're looking down at this wolf, and again, it really looks like Greg just went gung ho on this somehow. Like almost like he burned away the fur. As he starts moving your hand across it, sort of feeling around its hide, and you pull your hand back. And with the rain falling around on your gauntlet, it makes sense why some of it would stick to you, but your hand's just like covered in hair and fur. And you can see where you moved your hand across it, there's more of that pink flesh. And it's becoming a bit more obvious that this thing is not the same thing you just fought about a minute or two ago. From about the legs downward, it's losing its fur and losing some of that dark silver hide to it and becoming soft and pink and naked. As it almost looks like, although somewhat deformed, the legs are appearing longer, straighter, less canine, more designed to stand on 2 feet, maybe?
Well, ladies, will you be alright to get home?
Yes. But this wound, perhaps we should go see the doctor.
Yes, go see
Give
the
me a
doctor.
hand. Hold on. Oh, see what I can do. So hold my hand out.
She extends her arm towards you. You can see, now looking at it closer with your glowing sword in hand, this thing, it looks like this massive maw just chomped down into it. It's a bit too wide for what you probably expect a wolf to be. Definitely wasn't a wolf bite looking at this thing's jaw and looking at the arm.
Don't worry, it'll be alright. So I just hold her hand in one hand and put my other hand on top of the arm that's wounded as light starts to glow across it, as I'm just going to put 5 health into her arm just to seal over the wound, to heal her as best I can. Should be better now.
Oh, you're a healer. An actual healer.
Please.
You feel so much better. Thank you.
I'll mention it. You know there's more of these things out here? We just heard this, but we inside a second ago.
I don't know. We'd heard that there are things coming out at night. Things taking the form of beasts. Oh, I didn't think it was true until...
So you
tonight.
decide to walk around at night.
We were simply heading home from a friend's house. We didn't We know this place is haunted, but we didn't think it was that dangerous.
Okay, we'll leave earlier next time. Go away.
Oh, okay.
Luna.
I'll probably should head home.
Is it close
Live
by? Can
far
you get
from
there?
here.
It's not too far from here. And as she says that, you can hear some growing louder now through the rain, the sort of thudding and splashing of boots, as it looks like a couple of guards finally pull themselves into frame with swords and shields in hand. We heard the howling. Is it happening again?
Holy shit, people are slow.
We took care of it already.
Yeah.
Oh, they mow these things. There's a group of the damn things all over the place. All the other attacks.
We only heard the one. Oh, we'll keep our eye out. We have other men scouting the northern part of town.
Wonderful. Guards, will you please escort these sisters home? Make sure they get there safely.
Yes, of course. Is anyone hurt? Any casualties? As she's trying to see some of them trying to look over the group, thinking one of them looking over to you, Quill. Are you trying to obscure the dead wolf, or are you letting him see it?
No, I'm just kind of like standing in between like them and the wolf. Like, no, we're fine. But these young sisters have had quite an ordeal. Surely you can make sure they get home safely and reassure them of the safety that comes with being within a guard's reach.
Give me a persuasion check. You're keeping their attention. Let's do that.
God, man, I cannot fucking roll tonight.
Not bad.
Jeez.
As they sort of look you over, they notice something next to you, but they see the girls pulling forward close and afraid, and they sort of shake their heads. Right. Ladies, please, come with us. We'll ensure you get home safely. Darren, light a torch. As you see one of them get a torch lit up, and although it seems to be somewhat dimming in the falling rain, they surround these ladies, keeping them close between them, surrounded by the light, and they start making their way back down the southern part of town.
Hold on, before y'all go.
Oh, yes. Something to report.
Just, hell. As I just find some, like, broken cobblestone or something on the ground that I pick up. Grand light, please. Just to cast a bit of light on it, as I will go over and hand it off to him. May not be much, but it's a little bit more blessed than just a torch. Maybe it'll help protect y'all. As I'll hand over just the glowing stone to them.
Pulls up a small pebble that basically emanates the light of a torch. You can see him looking it over, and it's not like the soft yellow glowing light of fire. It's bright, and it seems to be like actually lighting the area quite well. Oh, thank you. Magic. Wow.
Get him home
so much.
safe.
They start to make their way down south. Eventually, in sight.
Samantha, come here.
Okay.
Oh.
I'm gonna beckon for my fire dancer to take a spot above the fountain to grant us more light.
And I'll kneel down. What do you make of these legs? They don't look primal. They look of that of a human.
Just do
It does it.
Oh.
So it does look like it's a half human wolf
Yep.
thing.
Now that you get to it, it's pretty evident. These long canine feet that should have claws are now retracting down, and it looks like this thing has human feet working its way back up its body, about the waist now. And you can see where Quill has wiped away some of the fur. There's now like almost a defined set of like abs up its stomach, as the fur just seems to be falling away from its body.
We came across something similar to this not too long ago. These jackals that were able to stand on their hind legs and fight us. I suspect this isn't too far from that.
As Persephone is flipping through her journal to show Quill the entry that she made for it.
Was that with the stone?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm making sure. I like check the recesses of my knowledge. Just making sure I was thinking of the right thing.
Yeah, with the centaurs.
Yeah.
So are they jackals?
They do not look like those creatures, no. He's from... So I try to think about Dad. Anything ring any bells in that direction?
Sure. Roll me a nature check.
Eh.
Yeah, and enough to say that there are a number of creatures in this world, all beasts that hold themselves high to certain powers. One of them being the greatest of all, the many-faced beast Malar. And strangely enough, maybe just looking at this thing, it becomes a bit more obvious that this is one of the greater creatures, something that is often seen as a living sign of reverence or worship of Malar, something that oftentimes would live up to his expectations to bring out the beasts within the hearts of man, as this thing seems to be looking like it's turning human. Something that you've known as... What's the word, Quill?
These look like creatures I've heard about. They call themselves werewolves. Cursed by some sort of lycanthropy.
Werewolves. Werewolves and vampires. My dad's a vampire, right? You guys
Wait.
check that, right?
What
the hell are y'all looking
the doctor.
at?
I mean, I've heard wives' tales of, creatures that can turn into other creatures at midnight or something like that. When the moon's full and the witching hour is happening.
They don't like silver.
Something about silver. Kids are supposed to go out and get, am I mixing things up now? I'm pretty sure someone called Skelly Claws, like the worst haunter of them all. I don't know.
No.
What are you talking about? Are you drunk again?
He's always drunk.
Persephone, what were you going to say?
I don't know what Dr. Gellner is, Luna, but he wasn't undead or anything. In fact, I've never felt anybody feel such grief and sadness before. Gregory, did you see anything? You looked as shooken up as I felt when we were leaving.
Yeah, is that... So I walk over with the lantern I took off the wall, looking over top of Luna and Samantha's head. Is that a... what the hell is that?
It's a werewolf. Or something of its akin.
Do you know what a werewolf is, Gregory?
I mean, it looks like a man that's turned into a dog.
A wolf.
They're the same thing, really.
Wait, they were fighting them dogs.
Yeah. If you guys saw another, we just killed 2 seemingly good werewolves. If they were protecting the girls.
Well, that's the problem. How were we supposed to know?
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, regardless of whether we knew or not, we still killed them, and we know there's one more at least. They might be angry.
2 things.
I mean, we've already killed 2 of them. What's one more?
Samantha, is there a way... I hate to say this, but we are in a city that, well, believes in Eric Geldner quite fervently. I don't think it would be good to know that the valiant Vanguard, unfortunately and mistakenly, killed 2 men in an alley. The guards know we were here. They know that there were wolves, but not men. And this creature continues to turn more and more like a man every second. Unless we can resurrect these beings, it may be good to, dare I say, hide the evidence.
Dump the bodies?
Well, it may
Take
be
them to the
better
forest
to
and
burn
burn them?
them. I've heard
No.
that these sorts of creatures are often cursed.
Well, that is a possibility. It'd be quite simple, actually. If you are, however, interested in perhaps trying to seek peace, it is not too late to pursue that avenue. We could take these members of, well, wolves travel in packs. I assume they do as well. I'm sure they will have family or whatever that will want their bodies, and if they are an enemy to those strange shadow hounds, perhaps it might be in our better interest to take these creatures to them, give them their dead, and try to make amends.
I
As I
think
open my
that's a
eyes.
fair solution.
Who's watching the game?
I hear background from Peter.
Possibly roommates. What are you doing, Greg?
I'm just thinking about what Purse said a second ago, asking about the doctor, as I was sort of in shock seeing this dog transform into a man, and the idea that they were fighting the dogs, and I mean, these things were monsters, but then the idea of Persephone saying the doctor, and there was something wrong with the doctor. There was something surrounding him, like a curse. And then my eyes start to twitch, glow as I open them to look at this creature on the ground.
Eyes and senses all open up with a pulse as you take in your surroundings. Again, at first assaulted by that smell of decay, that sensation of wrong and rot, as everything again just seems to be like layered and entrenched in both the sensation of desecration and just this like ever presence of undeath. It seems to just surround everything. It's almost like spirits are just sort of flowing through all this haunted town. And looking down at this thing, you can tell, almost looking at its body, as the fur is now falling away with the rain pouring across its body, revealing more and more of a human self than a beastly side. You can see just the remaining, like almost like if it were mud kicking its body. Its changing form is losing this desecration bit by bit until all that's left is looks like the body of a man.
This desecration that's drifting off, it doesn't look eerily similar to
Hard to say. Just looks like foulness falling off its body.
Samantha, as I agree that it would be good to return them to their kind, I'm not quite sure how we smuggle 2 dead bodies through a city full of guards.
Maybe we don't. And Persephone's looking at a crystal. Maybe we just need to find their friend and have them come to us.
I might know who the friend is. They
Oh no.
surrounded by something dark, something evil. Purse, you asked me about the doctor, and I looked at him too. He ain't undead. He ain't some fiend or nothing. He might be an evil man, but because he was cloaked in that stuff, it's like these things were. He might
Oh,
be one of them.
Are you,
What part of town
are
are
you
we
sure?
in?
You guys are in like the northeastern part. Not quite full northeastern, but like getting there. Like you went from the clock tower up to this other direction, and so like you're getting close to the wall of town, like just getting to the edge of it, but you're getting close to the outskirts. So
Greg,
Yeah.
did you tell us about the church?
Not yet.
Hurry up.
hurry up.
Can't remember if I did or not.
I don't think you
Oh,
did.
well.
I'm taking
It's-
it from you if you
Time.
didn't.
Is there any way that we could stash the body somewhere close?
maybe we don't need a stash. I could probably send some Fae over to Dr. Gellner's and bring them to us.
I mean, where's Still not sure if we. Okay, look. So I went to the Shadowfell. Right. Right.
The what?
Um, the
Just let her talk. Just let
Okay.
her
I
talk.
don't know how to explain it. It's like a parallel place. It looks a lot like I did it in Oakwell, and it looked a lot like Oakwell. It was just filled with spirits.
Like the
You went
I
place
to the
with
guess
land
Baba
of the dead.
no, not was it? It wasn't Baba Emus, was it? Baba Emus was different, right?
Yeah,
was
Baba
different.
That's
Emus was the
the
ethereal.
ethereal plane.
Yeah, it's similar. I don't know if it's like bad spirits go there or like something. I don't know. Something happens. Basically, I went there. There
Right.
was this fortress. I went inside the fortress, and there was like a throne room where there were like mummified people, and I sat on the throne, and I remembered being there, much younger. I guess a memory that I forgot, and I saw him there as well. But he looked different. His hair was longer. I guess he looked more like royalty than when he did when I lived here. And when I talked to another spirit, they called him the Lord of the Night.
Hmm.
Wait,
I
was
don't
this
know what that.
a dream or something?
What? No, no. There's like it's like a portal in the well that I went through.
So you went to the land of the dead. You
Well, like
saw your
today?
father.
Yeah, when you sent me away.
That's what she was doing while we were talking to the
Wait, so you
doctor.
went into the Shadowfell by yourself?
Yeah,
With
I've done it before. Remember, that's where I saw.
yes, but things are
What's his name?
different here, Luna. You didn't appear in Garen's well, did you? You appeared somewhere different.
No, it was a city in the Shadowfell. I think it's like one of the only cities in Shadowfell.
And knowing
But
from
I
your
guess it.
history, there's no way you were left alone there for too long. I'm sure things came after you, didn't they?
No, actually, it looked like they were coming after me at first, but they went through the well, and well, as I gesture vaguely to our situation here.
This is a bit of a mystery. Creatures
By the
coming
way,
to protect. Creatures
if
from the
he's
land of the dead coming. I'm sorry, Ludo. I'm interrupting you.
sorry, I'm interrupting you. It's okay, but why am I being so nice? This is not Luna. But anyways,
Did you just apologize?
I mean, fuck you.
Yeah. It happens. Sometimes we make mistakes.
either way, if he's from the Shadowfell, where these creatures are from, I do not believe he is in line with the werewolves.
I would be inclined to agree with that as well. Do we have a way to cover up their bodies? Like a tarp or a sheet or something? Even if you have anything like that in your
I mean,
stalls.
there are boxes all around. I'm sure we could put them behind them.
Oh,
Someone will
God.
find them. This looks like a shop. Is this like a shopping district?
It looks like the front of someone's house, and they just sort of like have like some supplies there. The torches are on, but the lights inside are off.
I got
Yeah,
a
I don't
place
think we
we
could hide them here.
might be able to take them. The only real place left in this town that whatever this nonsense hadn't quite taken yet. I went to the church earlier today, and there's something there still holy, even through all this. And there was a man. He might know something about all this.
How far is the church from here?
Hell.
About a 30-minute walk.
I mean, it was in this direction, but I don't know, 20 minutes or so. I'd have to get my bearings again. I don't really know where the hell I.
Does it sound terrible and morbid? If looking at this body of
Headless body.
I guess human. Oh, you took off its head.
Oh yeah.
I thought you cut it in
And
half.
now that some more time has passed, you can see the fur has basically fallen off, and it's basically turned into like sludge and is washing away with the water. As you just have basically a naked human body, and you look over to where the head would be. It's also seems to have changed as well. There's something somewhat similar about them. You can see like one has like long, well, it would have been shoulder length, but now it's just however long, however, what do you call shoulder length hair when there's no shoulder to compare it to, laying against the wall, this like dark silver, like if it had like a dark brown hair had gone south and turned old. This like bright silver swashing down its side. You can see this person looks like they've suffered some wounds. There's a couple scars going down the side of their brow. Their body more intact, but still broken and bloodied and bruised. Seems like have a short crop of hair, almost some of it tied back in a knot, although it looks like the knot it was almost like naturally formed as if tied by hand. It's also this like dark silver color, and as you're sort of looking it over, I guess the one looking at most intently would probably be Quill, unless he's the one investigating the most. There's like the soft lull of eyes, sort of morbidly half-lidded, looking out. It looks like these things have like, they look somewhat similar. Both of them have like these, even in death, like these bright yellow eyes.
They have yellow eyes.
So what you're telling me is I can't fit them in my bag of holding.
I mean, you fit the head in your bag of holding. Actually, how much weight do you have in your bag of holding?
Yeah, I mean, humans are pretty heavy.
It can carry 500 pounds.
They are naked.
Yeah.
Not too much. It's
Well,
mostly just have a bunch of clothes.
there I see a bit of a cart over there. Perhaps we could put the bodies underneath all these sturgeons or whatever,
Oh,
and
God.
carry them to the church so that we don't rouse any suspicion.
Maybe.
And it would look like
Yeah,
we're doing a
I
service
definitely
for
have
the town.
less than 100.
What clothes do
In
you
my bag
have
of
in
holding.
there?
Maybe I can ask my friends from the Feywilds if they can conceal these creatures or turn them into something a little less
They're humans.
obvious. Yes?
Like logs. Could you make them look like wood or something?
Wait a second.
Well,
God, in terms of these creatures and their lore, do I know if they give reverence to the things that they turn into? They give reverence to wolves?
Somewhat. As far as you know, they mostly give reverence to Malar, but Malar has many faces.
Persephone. Do you have your, can you manifest the spirits into animal forms?
no, not today.
Unfortunate.
I still think we should just put them in my bag. If my clothes get dirty, I could just clean them.
But no.
That just feels so disrespectful.
It'd be kind of a
Yeah,
tight fit, but you could work them in there.
We can't get them to this church any other way without rising suspicion.
I mean, we can
Right.
Unless
Which
Gregory wants to
brings
carry
me
them.
to...
What
Okay,
can you
I'm just
carry?
gonna grab my crystal and speak to it in Sylvan.
my friends, I'm in need of your aid. A fey of magic or trickery to help us conceal these creatures or turn them into something less conspicuous so that we may go across town.
That wasn't very precise,
That is-
Persephone.
No, that was the wrong one. That was this one.
Church, right?
Because I can
Woodland
conjure
beings?
fey.
Which one are you
Fey
choosing?
that- I am choosing whatever. I guess it's a pixie that would be able to do that.
I mean,
probably only need
you gotta
one.
choose like
Yeah,
one
I
of
know.
CR2, two of CR1. The huge.
Yeah, I know. I didn't pull it up because we were talking ideas, so that's my bad.
That's okay.
So
I
I'm
don't
just
know if
gonna.
a pixie can do that.
Will sort of mumble,
Not pixies could
yellow
fall in blood.
eyes, so I go over to the still attached head one and look at him. Do I recognize pretty obvious features that are resemble a man?
I guess it would be
Features, yes. Features, yes. Appearance, not quite. Like some of them has like stubble on his face. Other ones, he's like more of a long beard going down to his chest. But those silver hair, yellow eyes.
Just give me like
Couldn't we just put them
For-
in the cart and then put the clothes on top of them and take them to this church? Can we
For
just do
Faye
that?
of a 1/4. No.
Steal a
Just-
cart?
The cart's right there. We can bring it back. I just start shoving Persephone's magic back into her body.
You can't reverse cast my spell!
Just put them in the cart and just put
Doesn't
the
go back in,
put
Samantha.
like the cloaks on top of them. That's as respectful as we can.
What
be.
has been set in motion cannot be unset in motion.
The pixies are coming. Or whatever the 1/4.
Which one did you pick? Just pick one?
I picked 4 of the 1/4 CR.
Or the 1/4? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, and as the green gals are kind of having their little tussle and scuffle, I'm gonna kind of walk up to Luna and very quietly. "Oh, are you all right? You said you had a memory of long ago. Are you okay?"
Yeah, I'm fine. It's weird, but I mean, it wasn't anything traumatic that I remembered. It was just weird.
That's your
So we're gonna-
fire.
I'm sure I'm gonna regret this. I'm just gonna kind of put my hand on her shoulder. "We're here, or at least I am. I know you don't need protection, but you are safe here with us."
Right.
I'm just gonna do it with
Thank
my
you.
hand.
It's like,
The hand out. As Persephone,
I quickly
your fire
removed it
dancer-
afterwards.
Your fire dancer fades and disappears in the night. As suddenly around you, you can see the air starts to unfurl, and you can see like the soft pink petal, like a lotus, starting to bloom in the air. Before it seems to bloom larger than it possibly could before, so it's almost like clapping itself in the air, and spreads as this tiny little form, only about a foot tall or so, flutters in the air above you before lowering herself down with long, flowing amber hair and petal-like wings as this tiny little fey creature flutters into existence. Hello!
I asked
Well, this
for.
place is gloomy.
I know.
Oh, that looks horrible there.
I have a favor to ask of you.
Oh, of
Captivated
course.
body in the corner.
Would you be so kind of, I actually didn't think this far. Perhaps turning,
As I gesture to the corpse on the ground.
transform this into something less heinous, please.
I
If you're able.
as she flies over to it, flutter, 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 gets down next to it. And she like sort of shoves her fingers out, and you see like sparks of little beautiful petals of light because they're cascade across the body, and it's a little bit cleaner now. I don't know what I can do.
Even if she could turn it into something innocuous, how would you turn it back so we could give these to the other werewolves?
I can make it smell like a spring morning. Nope, that didn't last long.
Aw. Could you turn it into maybe.
It's not
think you
working?
understand.
Is that what's happening? No, I don't
Cast
understand. Please
prestidigitation for the 9th time.
translate.
What do you want her to do?
I want her to cast polymorph on this thing to turn
You know
it into...
polymorph doesn't work on dead bodies.
It doesn't? No, I...
No,
oh,
they're
I would-
objects.
God damn it. I would not know. Me doesn't know that. I'm so dumb.
so,
Let's grow
Cloaks,
flowers
please.
next to it.
Just holding
yeah,
this dead man.
So
Oh,
yeah, that whole plan
well,
doesn't fucking work.
yeah.
I don't think that's working, Persephone.
I see that. Thank you, Quill.
I can
So
try a
I'll
little more.
I'll just scoop it up with one hand and put it on my shoulder.
I'm
Well, it's
sorry I
caught.
wasn't able to help you.
It's not your fault, dear. You
I can
did great.
make you fly. Would you like to fly?
You've done very well. Thank you. And I'm going to curtsy to her and dismiss her.
Oh, okay.
oh well, that was actually a relatively good idea. Quill, Gregory, you could carry the two bodies if you guys fly above.
Yeah, I just have one over my shoulder and I go over and scoop up the other one.
Oh, I already
Okay,
grabbed
well,
it.
Gregory,
Oh, okay. Then I'll take the head
one of
underneath
you
my
carry
shoulder.
both because that means less things that I need to cast. Okay, so
Wait. What,
if you
gonna
fly
make us fly?
above like cloud level or just really high so people can't actually see you, then you can carry it to the church.
Luna, please don't make either one of them fly in all of that armor in the middle of a thunderstorm.
I mean, if they die, they die. It's honestly, I'm kind of over
She
it.
means that the lightning would make her armor glisten, and there's nothing worse than a shiny object in the air with 2 dead bodies.
I am
What?
tired of all of you people. Goodbye.
Can I just have the
I can't
cunks,
leave.
Luna?
God damn it. You really just want to... I'm going to look around the windows. Do I see any of them, like, moving? Do I see any of them, like,
I'm just
people
gonna go
peeking through them? Because there was a lot of
noise.
noise.
Yeah, give me a perception check as you're peeking through the windows, just trying to look for any signs of movement in general. Yep, you can see, thankfully with your incredibly high dark vision, the shadows that would normally hide people in their houses don't really do much against you. You can make, you could see someone coming, getting close to the window, sort of squinting, almost like they can't see until they stop and realize there's someone looking in their window, and they take the blinds and pull it. And looking around, you can see more shapes moving around as there's more commotion going on, as it's been more than just about a minute or so since this has popped off. Seems like the more you guys are here, the more these shapes are starting to take place in windows, shadows forming in front, trying to see what the hell's going on and what all this commotion's about.
Alright, look. There are people looking at us. We're not stealing something because that's just going to bring it towards us. Put it in the fucking bag. I swear to God, Persephone.
This was to
Put it in the bag.
make being diplomatic a lot harder. As we
So I'll just start
dump
to,
the
I'll just
bodies
start to
out in
push
front
the
of
body
them.
into
I
the
could
bag.
turn into a
Dump it
giant
in.
eagle and I could fly it to the church.
I've already
Oh
put
my
the body
God.
in the bag.
God, okay.
Look at that one.
You know what? I should have just let Chomps eat it. I should have just fucking shoved them into the fucking blender. I shouldn't have tried to be
Who's
diplomatic. I should have just taken the bodies and thrown them into the garbage disposal, and I wouldn't have to deal with any of this fucking nonsense.
Who the fuck is Chumps?
Don't worry about it.
Will, can you hold the bag for this one?
We won't dump it out in front of them. We'll dump it out before we get to them, I guess. I don't know.
I don't see what was wrong with taking the wheelbarrow right here.
It belongs to someone
Attention?
else.
As you guys carefully place the bodies, sort of funneling them, one in 2 pieces, one in a more whole, as steadily as you can. Thankfully, you have some large folk carrying all this bulky stuff. The torchlight around you is pretty low as well, if you're trying to hide yourself from prying eyes, able to, as subtly as you think you can, put 2 bleeding bodies into the bag of holding, and thankfully, as the last one gets in, you're kind of maybe on the inside, crossing your fingers, Luna, because how much weight can this hold? And the bag, although it bulges at the last body for the last second, seems to go back to its normal shape, and it's still only about 15 pounds.
Alright.
Just making my job
I'll
harder.
lead y'all to the church, come on. And I was wrong. It ain't the doctor. It's the other one. Huh.
Is I'm gonna kind of look around, and I'm going to put a. I'm gonna put a gold coin on the these closest windows, like 4 gold coins, just kind of on the windowsills.
Okay.
Because I kind of feel bad for disrupting their, you know, a little bit of hush money, a little bit of sorry,
Oh, mafia there.
you know.
You
As
see,
I go to the giant neon alleyway sign, as I'm sure that's the way out.
you guys start making your way downtown. You put your coins in the way. You can see some shapes inside Quill through the darkness, sort of reel back, but they don't seem to accost you guys. Eventually, sort of following Greg as best as he can, finding his way through this town. Eventually, coming across
I'm real quiet throughout the whole thing.
Oh yeah, and as you're making your way through, you do come across a couple of other guards in this town. As some of them seem to be on watch, they see you guys walking and they give you a nod. Some of them stop you for a moment just to make sure that, hey, it's dangerous out here, and they see you have weapons and let you on your way. Seems like that's you guys got this covered. Eventually, you find yourself back at the Silver Circle, this dilapidated-looking church, and inside you see no lights turned on. You don't see any signs of life inside, but you, Gregory, know from firsthand that's not always telling of this place.
Yeah. I look up at the top of the church as we start to walk in. Was it like a sign of Sune that was sort of broken on the outside?
Basically, it's this large disc, silver disc, that shines, especially in the rain and the moonlight, sort of casting through some of the clouds. It looks like it'd be beautiful, like this beautiful symbol of the sun goddess, but there's been this crack that ran through it as if whether it's been assaulted or maybe just some sort of earthquake happened. Something happened to cause this beautiful symbol to be tarnished.
I'm sorry. As I open up the door and walk inside, and I'm just making a straight fucking strut up to the altar.
Okay, yep. You watch Gregory confidently walk inside this dilapidated church. It looks like it would have been beautiful, but it's dusted. There's broken seats. It looks like this place is in a state of disarray. But you see him confidently walk up to the altar where there's the symbol of Sune, this small little statuette, this little reliquary, sits at the center.
Is there anyone else in here? Or is it just us?
Looks like it's just you. Gregory kind of walked in like maybe expecting someone, but he doesn't seem to be looking around all too much. His eyes seem to be fixed on the center of this church. Look, you guys are all alone.
Alright, I guess this is a good spot. Chloe, can you help me take these bodies out?
Of course. So just like, kind of like keep it a little bit lower to the ground as I'll just start to like pull the one intact body out and just kind of lay it gently on one of the pews as I'll pull out the other body and lay that on the pew and then kind of look and then just reach my hand way in, feel around, grab that little bit of hair and pull the head out. And set it gently next to the decapitated body.
Persephone's gonna turn away as all that goes about.
I just walk behind the altar, find the rug, and just pick it up and throw it aside. And walk over to the altar and place my hand on the symbol of Sune, and just start to slowly rotate it until I feel like.
Oh yeah. Get beneath your strong hand, Greg. It's really nothing. Even it looks like this thing's definitely been used time and time again because there's no resistance. It just sort of turns and clicks. And then beneath you can see the small like impression where a hand would be, where you couldn't really figure out last time. Sort of gives way, and it looks like whatever mechanism was keeping it latched shut now loosened.
So I look down at the trapdoor beneath me as I try to listen for that hum in the air, but it doesn't come, and I try to focus my eyes, and just a shooting headache goes up the side of my temple. I just hold the side of my head. It's supposed to be down here. As I lean down and try the door.
You reach down, give it a pull and a twist. Door seems to slide open, and you can see, although it's very dark, I'm assuming you still have some light in your hand, though, right?
Yeah, I've got the lantern that I took off the wall from outside.
You look down, and you can see moving down this this corridor further and further into this place is a set of stairs, somewhat wide. It looks like it starts off narrow through this narrow walkway. One person at a time may have to go, especially someone of your size. But as you go past, it seems to widen out until maybe about 2-person stride. And it seems like it goes beneath the church at a pretty steep angle.
Here's where it is. A man. Looked like one of them. Not when they were wolves, but what they look like now. He was here. He went down there. I want to make this clear, y'all. I'm the one that brought my blade down on these fellas first. There's pittance to be paid. I'll pay it. Ain't no need for y'all to. I'm sorry.
I'm just gonna put my hand on Gregory's shoulder. We'll go together.
I hate to say it, but Gregory, you are all here because of me. So I won't let you go down by yourself.
Besides, well, if anyone's going to be paying for things, it's going to be whoever it is that got this place into this mess. Those hounds came from somewhere, and hopefully these people will have the answers that we need. Samantha will take off her hood and use an action to drop her disguise. I kind of have an idea. Anyway.
I'm sure if we just explained the whole situation, they'd understand. But we're not going to let you go down alone, Gregory. It's ridiculous.
Unless they ask for a life, well then you're on your own.
What?
Like I would ever give them Gregory. Foolishness.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
see what we're gonna see.
indeed. Together. The valiant vanguard. Huh. Let's go save this fucking town.
Start
Okay.
heading on down.
You guys make your way down these steps. They're quite dark, but fortunately most of you have the ability to see quite well. And Gregory, with his lantern shining very bright in this darkness, acts as a pretty good beacon. You're sort of lighting the path ahead. Goes down 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, about 60 feet or so. Just enough to where walking through Luna, you're able to spot, looks like a dip in these stairs until eventually you find a doorway. You can tell that this doorway looks like, I mean, it's strange for like an underground passage. It's large and ovaled and wooden. It looks like the door to a church, but underground. Not one that would be used for a subterranean room, but something you'd expect for like the outside of an actual church. And yet it's hidden here, in this dilapidated-looking tunnel.
Any
Gregory
religious
taking charge?
iconography on it?
Not that you can tell. This looks like a large, plain wooden door, devoid of any symbols. And going down, I'm assuming Gregory leading the way, you find this large handles. What do you call them? Big old
Knockers?
knocker
Door
things?
knockers?
Knockers. It's weird to say knockers on a
Yeah,
door.
knockers!
As you put your hands on the knockers, take a breath and push it open. The doors swing wide, and you find yourselves in the heart of this dark and almost decimated-looking tomb. You can see behind these large pillars the peeking faces of what looks like stone coffins, although this entire place looks like it's been a state of disarray, not quite well cleaned, not quite well tended to. And between some of the spots where your torchlight seems to shine, you can see figures wearing robes standing among them. Now their faces turning to face you. They glimmer, almost like the way that an animal's eyes shine when refracting light, turn to face you, a bright, luminescent color, like resplendent and rainbow, before it fades into a soft yellow, a golden glow. And at the far end of this church, you see, glowing with his own soft light, it looks like a man standing before a table, a large altar with a small candle that seems to illuminate him. A man with long white hair greased back to his head, who turns to face you as the doors open, as you find yourselves standing in the depths of this hidden church. The man that you've known to be a Ceres, the one who first visited you in this church, turns to face you, and a crooked smile carves up his face, almost like it's carving up one side to the other, running up this long scar that carves up to his temple. And you can see now, and before him, not more plainly visible on his robe, is a large red hand. The symbol that most of you should know as Malar. As that is where we will end tonight's session.
Yeah, but I gotta go kill that guy. and
Just
then
a
kill
couple
that
more
guy,
hours.
And then kill that guy.
Unfortunately
Oh,
not.
yeah. Please be evil, please be evil, please be evil.
Please be good. Please be good. Please be
give
good.
Gregory someone to smite. Please.
I want them to be.
Please
I
don't
want them to
play
be good, but justifiably upset with you. So you have to wrestle with that feeling.
I'm gonna have to cut an innocent man's head off. I'm sorry.
Murderer!
God, whatever the case, I really hope they're not evil, and I really, oh God, I want to roll speech on this. Ugh.
Maybe they're like evil, but also like against.
Yeah,
There we
evil,
go.
enemy of my enemy and all that. That's what I'm really hoping for.
Hey, you know what? Speaking of rolling speech, you should come on down to the Lionhead Gaming Discord channel, where we have lovely chats about all sorts of things. Our meme game is on point, and you can interact with DMs and players that you watch every Tuesday and Thursday. ask interesting questions like, Peter, what's your favorite food? Or Brendan, what really is your cat's name, and why is he so damn cute? That's right, check it out, the Lionhead Discord. It's pretty damn fun.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Now, we will, unfortunately, be taking a short break next week. We will not have...
Why?
Isn't it next week? For Tuesday?
Bitch,
24th.
you need to learn how to read a calendar.
I can read a calendar, John. Gosh. As so we'll be having a break for Kingdoms of the South on the 24th, not the 17th. My apologies. So we'll be back next week with more Kingdoms of the South as we continue on. Now wanting, or did we already regroup at the end of that, or do we need to still regroup with the? No, we're with the panda. That's right. There's a panda. Be sure to leave. Yeah.
What?
There's a, yeah. You missed a lot. You gotta be there.
no,
Owen.
man.
There's a panda now. Oh boy. So be sure to tune in this upcoming Tuesday so you can see what the situation is with, I believe, the leader of the bear folk? Who knows what's going on there? More details and more story to uncover. And what on earth actually happened to Princess Ko? Did Ryan lie to us? Or was he just deceived by some sort of magic? Who knows? Let's hopefully find out next Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Lionhead Gaming. And with even more hope, let us all bow our heads and pray that we will be able to return next Thursday, the 19th, for Song of Rapture. Is it in the cards? Has it been foretold?
Should be good.
Hey!
We're back!
Should be good, guys. So, of course, if there are any changes, life is a thing that happens. So if there's any changes or anything like that, we'll post updates to both Twitter and now also the Discord. So be sure to join there so you can get instant updates on both when we're going live and see our meme musings throughout the week and, all that good stuff, all the fun that comes with having a Discord with people with like-minded interests, like video games and tabletop role-playing games and all that junk. So be sure to check out the link in the chat or just below the stream in the doobly-doo down there. Other than that, I want to thank you all so much, so very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this return to Song of Rapture. I know I most certainly have, and I look forward to more and whatever the situation is in the Church of Malah. So many secrets to play from. It will be quite interesting. So, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and host somebody else playing some D&D, and that's about it. So other than that, may your dice roll 20s, and you always make your saves.
Later.
Toodles!
Bye!
For them to have a basis to trust us again, like doing the finding the slavers.
And the only way to do that is to go after the slavers. And I'm wound up like a kid on his birthday. I need to go do something, and maybe pounding in Slaver's door is gonna help set things right.
Well, that's the language I speak, so it works for me.
Do you think there would be any value in finding out, from the council member on the ship, before we do any of this?
I don't think there's a way.
Well, we do have Fig, and Fig does not have to breathe.